Hello, and welcome to Wrath of the Godkin, the D&D campaign where the real cameras were the ones we stole along the way, thanks to Miss Affinity. Say hello to Ronnie the Bugbear Fighter, Waylon the Human Paladin, Kelken the Firbolg Druid, Oz the Kenku Wizard, and Affinity the Tiefling Bard. Our heroes are experts at getting themselves into trouble, but before they do exactly that, let's remind you viewers at home what happened previously on Wrath of the Godkin. So last time, Oz received some gumbo seeds, food for his new pet male birds. Then he received the bombshell that gumbo seeds are expensive and that he'd need to secure an affordable seed source or be unable to feed his new pets. At first, he checked with a wanty salesman by the docks, but didn't like the guy's prices. This led him to track down Captain Reginald, a similarly short statured captain who took a liking to Oz and decided to help him set up a black market trade agreement so long as Oz could find a secure underground space to set up a shop. Oz failed to control his the most arrogant of his Tequasil babies, and the male bird flew up a chimney and escaped. Ronnie went to visit Lonai the jeweler to get some platinum rings, inadvertently got a pseudo makeover, and a sales pitch for the cursed artifact known as the Eye of Havrax, an artifact that Lonai stole when he escaped from the cult he once lived in. Way did a one-man show about the adventures of Mayor Ronnie, which became a roaring success in the Seafair Bazaar. Meanwhile, Finn decided she wanted to steal a camera from a random tourist and convinced the party to follow him to the Yoho Chateau, where they saw him arguing about photography with Lystra, the Eldrin proprietor. Yes. Finn convinced Lystra that she and this tourist, whom she named Cherold, were part of a marketing campaign for the chateau. She got Cherold to play along, then used Charm Person on him to steal his camera, resulting in him falling in love with her. She went invisible to escape. Later, she admitted to the others that she stole the camera for selfish reasons, and they guilted her into returning it. So here we go. It's Summerfire 3 AMP, aka Wednesday at 9 p.m., and the party is enjoying some rustic revelry at the Seafair Bazaar. So right now, you guys are all sort of partying it up, getting your free drink tickets on, and enjoying each other's company. Um, the weight of last week's activities fresh in your mind. You have some marching orders in terms of things you have to take care of, and there is the looming reality of this Champions Day festival that you guys will be participating in to help help decide what the future of the Fire Guard is going to be like. This new group that you are putting together is going to be the guardsmen for the town and hopefully replace the old regime with some positive new vibes. So right now you guys are still partying it up. Is there anything you would like to do presently? And in general, is there anything you guys would like to do in town? Any more shenanigans and hijinks, as you are sort of on downtime right now, and you are free to skip ahead should you all agree to do so in the future, and we can just skip ahead to the next major story beat. However, there does seem like there are some things that some of you would like to do and have been working on. So if there's anything anyone wants to do, and Oddish, are you all caught up as far as what's going on? Is
Yes,
there
I
anything we
am. I
need to?
actually managed to watch most of last week's episode.
Okay, great. Um, so should be okay. I'm gonna raise your volume up a little bit, Oddish. All right. So what would you guys like to do?
I don't know.
Uh,
I think Ronnie goes up to Finn. Hey, hi. What's Finn doing right now?
Sulking. Probably.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get another camera eventually.
We can get you a camera if you I thought it, but we can't just take things from people, Finn.
Yeah, I know rich people are hard to steal from. I get it.
No, you did it very successfully. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I want us to be able to leave here, and if there's chaos, it's harder to do that.
Well, I mean, that guy wasn't even from here technically, so it probably would have been fine for a while.
He doesn't even go here.
But I get what you're saying. That's fair.
So also speaking of that, Ronnie drops their voice and like tries to look around and make sure they're not like being especially overheard. Are you have you been making deals to look out for the merchants? You know you're not on the city council, right?
Well, I guess technically, yeah. But I mean, we made the council, so we're like sort of, you know.
No. The point is we can't like that we can't influence it. That's their whole point. Unless you want to stay here and be on the city council, which
Oh, God,
in fact,
no.
if you want, I think would be. Oh, okay. I think it could be really good for you if you wanted to do that.
Wow, one drink in you and you've just got all the jokes, huh?
I had several drinks in me and several of them out. I don't feel great.
Oh. You can sleep that off then. I don't remember making any deals. I said yes to, you know, putting in a, what's so bad about putting in a good word for the merchants? I feel like they're pretty important.
They're incredibly important. But the point is that the city council that we are not part of should not be corrupted through bribery or other coercion or etc. Ronnie says, not really knowing what other ways you could do corruption.
So if I disguise myself as someone else,
almost certainly not,
and then, you know, just offhandedly mention it as a private citizen, that's fine.
Finn, do you care what happens to this place?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's nothing negative. I thought it was a pretty solid deal.
What was so you did make a deal?
Well, yes, there was no
Watch
handshake. Did I handshake him? I don't remember.
Finn, I think it's great if you are taking an interest in the well-being and the future of Jarexfen and the political climate here.
Is that what you did?
Something about this is making Finn like it's like reliving when your parents were really annoyed at you.
Yeah, Ronnie is unhappy with themselves too because they can hear themselves saying, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed."
Yeah.
So, but they're also like, we're having a nice time. Finn, all I want is for us to be able to leave and move on. But I can't do that if this place is corrupt again. I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect by the time we leave. Just please, help me a little bit, please.
Should I undo the deal?
I don't know what deal you made. I don't know what deal you made, so I don't know.
I mean, I kind of can't, it was one of those in the moment things where like the information was given to me and then like later I have to do the thing.
Totally. So, and at the same time, you are correct. The merchants are incredibly important for Jarexfen's ongoing well-being. But they have the ability to do that themselves, I think. I hope.
Do they, Ronnie?
I think Ronnie puts their head down on the bar a little bit or as close as they can without like fully bending in half. It's like, I don't know, Finn. I don't know.
That's okay, Ronnie. It's okay to not know things. And once again, to just go with the flow. And if I say something offhanded about the merchants, who's to say why I said it?
Well, the thing is, Finn, it feels like it's me, and I don't want it to have to be me.
What? Wait, you what?
You have to say a thing. Because now I know a thing, and when I know a thing, I have to say things.
Hey, if you keep drinking, it has a funny way of making you not remember things anymore.
I don't
Can
want
confirm.
Oh, everyone's here. Okay, good. Where's Oz?
They've just been watching this the entire time so far.
Oz, last we checked, had been collecting a bag full of teeth, I think, which he stuffed with every bit of refuse and anything that looked like bone matter into his sack of, former teeth, now gilded and golden and glittering with newfound brethren, in this bag full of mouth chompers. Oz, has any of this conversation between Ronnie and Affinity registered with you in terms of the deal that you are currently brokering privately, unbeknownst to the others? Well, I guess beknownst to Kel, but not probably beknownst to Ronnie or Way or Affinity. That, yeah, you've been...
If Oz is here, he's hearing the words, but not really the message. He's like, wow, Finn did that? Not really applying it to himself in the moment as he has all of his teeth spread out in front of him and he's sorting them.
Okay, so it's sort of flying over your head a little bit, the potential relevance to this, although you did sort of pick up, I think, last time, at least insofar that your dealing should be discreet. I think that's what Reginald left you with. So
I mean, in Oz's little bird brain, he's helping the city by rooting out a corrupt merchant who's making things more expensive.
right.
I was thinking, actually, on that topic, Oz. I don't know why I didn't bring it up earlier. I guess I just wasn't really feeling like myself, but it just came to me.
Huh? What topic?
I have a spell called Plant Growth. That, coupled with the greenhouse, if you really feel like it, maybe we can try and take back control of the seeds. Maybe grow our own and set them at fair prices.
Oz just looks up at Kel. You're telling me that we could be the supply?
We could probably be the supply. I don't want to make any promises, but magic does a lot.
Kel, these things currently go for 10 gold apiece. We could make so much money.
So much money. I feel like I should be charging the farmers in this town anyway to basically double their crop yields. That's probably a pretty handy service to have.
Oz currently looks like he's having a moral dilemma inside of, do we keep charging it at these really high prices, or do I make it low prices like I promised? We need to start growing these. How long does that take?
The spell itself, it doesn't speed up the growth, but it essentially doubles the yield on any plants within like half a mile of me. So if we plant all
what
the
you're saying
seeds,
is we need to get something grown already?
essentially, but if it is hard to get a harvest, this should make it significantly easier.
So we
That's what he
need
was
to
saying,
import
like that
the
it's a pretty rare
trees.
seed and like native to its climate. It's kind of hard to grow. I'm not entirely sure how it would work, but this might help.
I need to think about it. We need to figure out how to import trees now. Are you sure you can't just like stick your fingers in the dirt around the seed, do some sort of magic thing, and it makes big tree from seed?
Let me search my brain real quick, and I'll get back to you. Searching my brain might take a bit, so please carry on with whatever you were doing.
Oz just watching Kel just think real hard, just goes back to sorting his teeth, glancing at Kel every once in a while. I don't know if this one is a tooth. He's just kind of holding it up.
Is that a bone?
I mean, teeth kind of are bones.
No, but like, is that
Teeth
a bone?
are very much bones.
Like inside bone, not tooth bone? Maybe.
Yeah.
thinking maybe it was just broken tooth, but maybe it is a bone.
Oz, do a medicine check on it. You're not sure, but it could be a finger bone. Or it could be just a really nubby tooth. It's hard to tell.
Maybe if I find more bones, maybe I could put together a person.
I don't love that idea.
What would you do with a person?
Yeah,
Well, no, not like a living person, just like, a chalk outline of a skeleton on the ground.
Oh,
Be fun decor.
so we cleared out the haunted house, right?
Yes.
Except for our butler. And the toilet. Actually, I think the toilet's a mimic.
And you want skeleton chalk on the ground. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's not a ghost. It's just bones.
Don't
It wouldn't-
ghosts come from bones? Or like
I mean, if you do like necrotic magic on it.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't even tell if it's just Ree or Roddy that would be like, wow, Finn, really?
don't you know the soul is stored in the bones, everyone?
But I think Roddy's why, like, if we can assemble a full skeleton, it could be an interesting space for some, young new adventurers to learn medicine checks to improve their healing abilities.
Or we could animate it and have a cool butler.
Or we have a cool butler, I think.
Cool butler assistant.
What if it's a bunch of different people's bones though and it just comes back looking all freaky?
And we could just do the thing I said where they just stay bones.
Yeah, but what's the fun in that?
I didn't want to have a lot of fun in the house.
But what's the point of having a house if not fun?
A place where we
Yeah.
can keep our stuff and train future generations of adventurers while we go out and do other things, and mostly are elsewhere. I thought, personally.
And
But it's good if it's a fun house. We have the roller coasters.
I
Right.
thought it was a place to throw off all my treasures.
What? The bones will guard your treasures?
Oh, maybe. I was gonna stick this Spinosaurus skull up on the wall to protect my treasures.
Okay. The
As,
National Museum of Ozturi.
as the night continues on, you guys who want to partake can get your fill of free drink and party with the other people of town. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to do for the rest of the evening?
I'm getting hammered.
Yeah,
Alright.
I guess just drinking away.
All right, those of you who are drinking, please make a con save to see how you handle the night of heavy drinking.
Do I get advantage because I am a paladin and I cannot get sick?
Can I be poisoned?
I don't think you do,
Oh my
God, what if
because
Wade
it hasn't
isn't
helped
drunk
you in the
anymore?
past. But you do get a big con save just naturally. Yeah, Finn, you
Damn it.
perhaps drink too hard. And as a result of that, it's gonna be difficult for you to get to sleep this night, and as a result of that, the next day you're gonna have one level of exhaustion from this.
Oh no.
Ooh!
Damn, a real party night, huh?
Punishments? No.
What consequences for my actions?
When will
My
you learn?
chicken?
How
Yeah,
do I
so-
mark exhaustion?
Uh,
I see.
yeah, the next day, you wake up and you are not feeling well, Finn. currently have a level of exhaustion. Normally, going to sleep for a long rest would have cured it, but due to the amount you drank and the inability you found to have a restful night's sleep, you weren't able to. And so, yeah, until you get a long rest, you're going to have disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, that's so sad for me.
So the new day stretches out before you guys. It is currently Summerfire 3 stats now, aka Thursday. And that means that as you guys are having breakfast, Finn trying to nurse her hangover. You guys
She has sunglasses on inside.
Right, yeah. Trying to do hair of the dog and water, but it's just not. Your tummy is feeling rumbly.
He's invented sunglasses.
No, we know they exist. That tree, the palm tree in the beginning of the
that's
campaign
true, yes.
definitely
Oh,
will have. If it could conceivably exist in this universe, it probably does. So you guys have at this point, let's see, counting today, 1, 2, 3. You've got 10 days. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's 9 days until Champions Day. And so if you have anything you guys would like to do in the meantime, we can take care of that as downtime activities. If you guys just want to do we hung out in Jarek Spawn, the house is getting repaired right now kind of thing, you can spend that time in Jarek Spawn. If you want to go back to the house for a bit, it only takes about half a day to travel between the house and the center of town. So now is a good time, if you guys would like, to do some downtime activities and give us a little bit of a time jump to get ready for the Champions Day Festival. So if you guys would like, here's some activity suggestions for you guys. You guys can meet with the council or meet amongst yourselves to plan how you'd like this athletic contest inside the guards to go down. Currently, it's just sort of been generally agreed upon that it's going to be some sort of like wrestling contest, basically, feats of strength in the center of town. And there's going to be other events regarding just general Champions Day activities. Typically, these are arm wrestling contests, songs and ballads and plays commemorating great warriors of old. There'll be decorations featuring Kriegar, the god of war, and Molten Heart, the god of the forge. There's strength and bodybuilding contests, other types of physical challenges, sort of like Ninja Warrior type courses. Sometimes coliseums and arenas hold special events. There aren't really any of those, but you have to imagine that the fighters who hang out at the Under Tavern, Little or Medium Kev, are probably going to be holding some sort of fights of their own, assuming they they might also get involved in your Fire Guard festivities too. So there are typically like eating contests and other sort of things, and there are historically traditions for Jarek Spawn, but if you guys want to get involved and decide how you guys want to celebrate, You definitely have a lot of influence on this town. Okay. Why do I have 2 of these? Okay, so stuff you can do over the course of downtime can be, you've got 10 days right here. So you can do things like, these are all from the Dungeon Master's Guide. We haven't done downtime yet, but examples that they provide in the Dungeon Master's Guide are like, you can try to find or locate a magic item. Like a good example of this might be, you know, perhaps Oz and Kel want to do a lot of research during their downtime about how potentially to grow or locate a sapling of this tree for the gumbo seeds. And you know, another thing you could do is try to you know, concoct a potion or go out and party, try to schmooze with certain people, crafting items, and you know, rogues can do crime or gambling, pit fighting, which there will be some, relaxation. They can do, you know, clerics can do religious service, and studious characters can do research or try to scribe a spell scroll, try to sell items from your inventory using fences and other characters you've met. You can try to train specific abilities, try to build things. You can try to do work in town. There's a lot of different options that you have with regard to downtime. So if there's anything you would like to do that you don't necessarily want to fully RP, but you do want to explore for your character, now is a good time to take care of that. So if anything jumps out to anyone of just stuff they would like to do, feel free.
I have a thought.
Sure.
Is it possible to just like get super good at my gun
Yeah, you can definitely
so
try
that it
that.
just loves me
Yeah.
unconditionally?
Okay, so for
Cool.
your downtime activity, your primary downtime activity will be just trying to convince your gun that
cool
you are cool
things.
enough that you don't need to mess with it.
We don't have to
every
do this
single time.
dance anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to do the same song and dance where you convince your gun you're cool enough to use it. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, Finn, is I assume, well, I can let you decide how you want to handle this. So right now, on your first day of downtime, you're pretty much useless, right? Because you're so hungover and exhausted. So you might want to wait until afterwards to try doing this. Like, give yourself a full day to recoup. So what we'll do is we will give you 4 charisma saves, and we'll use the result of those rolls to determine your success with this.
Okay. Let's go +8. Huh?
Wow.
Oh, come on now.
Oh,
Wow.
a natural 1
What
and
a
a
roll.
natural 20.
What
Back
a
to
ride.
back. Okay.
Do
That's
those cancel out?
crazy.
How does that work?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what-
kind of, right? They kind of do cancel each other out, because the nat 1 would have killed this attempt dead in its tracks, but the nat 20 sort of balances out. So basically, the net result of those is that they are just numbers and they have no magical additional things to this. So I'm going to add up your results right now, and I'm going to get the average of those. Okay. You can feel the walls of the guns, like, resistance to you breaking down, and you get a sense that were you to try this again during another stint of downtime, you would likely have advantage on it.
Okay.
But for now, the gun persists in being stubborn about this, based on the.
Okay. I paint it really girly and pink in spite of this.
If I can't be cool, you won't be either.
I'll show you cool.
Okay. The way I determined that, well, it's not that important. Okay. Anyone else have anything that they would like to do in their downtime?
Yeah, just while I guess we're killing time, I'd like to just slip a note under Dr. Wilder's door, be like, "Dear Dr. Wilder," and then he crosses it out. "Dear Arden, hi, Kel here. Didn't want to disturb you in case you were busy packing. If you have time, feel free to drop by. Don't leave without saying goodbye. I'd love to see you again." And then he crosses out the love and replaces it with like. And then before he overthinks it anymore, slips it under her door.
I thought you'd be like, he crosses it out. I'd see you again.
She doesn't really have. She doesn't really have a door per se, because she's living in sort of like open hostel bunking, basically, on the second floor of the Seafair Bazaar.
But the hostel has to have a door, right? So I'll just slide it underneath that, and then that way, hopefully, whoever finds it will give it to her.
You've sort of
That's so much
seen
more
the
insane.
setup, but I think when you last spoke to her, she made it clear that she was going to have to leave very quickly. So as you are heading over to give her the note, you run into her directly, heading out the door to say goodbye to you and the others. With the
He
note in
crumbles up the
hand.
note quickly and stuffs it in his pocket.
Oh, Kel, I was just coming to see you. I've got all my stuff here. I was going to get on the ship to Grand Haven immediately, but I wanted to say goodbye.
How are you feeling?
Nervous. I don't like this whole getting pulled away from my research thing so I can answer a bunch of questions from gods know who. But I think, I don't know, seeing you do all this amazing stuff in town has given me a little bit of extra confidence. So I'm just gonna try to do like you and your friends do and act like I know what I'm doing.
Hey, you know what? No, you're right. I definitely don't know what I'm doing. 90% of the time it is an act. But hey, don't let them give you a hard time, for real. Like, you're pretty badass too, okay? Just...
She
got
blushes
this.
slightly and looks away, and then, as if stealing her courage, sticks out a hand to you, as if asking you to shake it.
Right. Business partners. I mean, research partners. He stretches out his hand and takes hers awkwardly.
She shakes it back and then lingers slightly before pulling it away. Kel, thank you for pushing me to expand what I'm capable of, and not just telling me what I want to hear. I know I can be a lot, but I do think that together we'll be able to get to the bottom of this Umberlux thing. So, you better be ready to make some scientific discoveries when I get back.
That was the first thing I was gonna do. Completely shelving the whole gumbo seed thing. And by the way, I guess I was so excited for you earlier that it just completely I wasn't properly empathetic about. You said that you were worried about us not hanging out for a while, and I was thinking about it, and it doesn't actually freak me out as much as it used to. I was thinking about why that might be, and he's like steeling himself up for this. He's like, look, I found you once. I'll find you again. We'll see each other pretty soon.
Okay, make a charisma or roll, I guess.
Fun. Character sheet's taking a while. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's a save or just a check?
Just a check. 2.
Wow.
You start.
No, you
Don't
don't see it.
You start to you try to put on this voice that's suave, but it comes out the way the tone of what you're saying is.
Found you once.
Yeah, I found you once. I'll find you again. She's sort of
no matter where you go.
She sort of winces and is like, okay, Cal, that's a little scary, but I'll miss you too, bud. And she pats your shoulder.
Cal's grinning like a fucking idiot. I think that went well.
With that, she says her goodbyes to everybody else, and boards a ship and waves fondly goodbye to you, Cal, as she heads off to another continent for the time being.
Guys, I did it. I talked to her.
You did it, Cal.
What?
We did it, Joe.
Who
Yeah,
did you talk to?
Arden, before she left, I was like, I'll find you.
Holy shit, you're on a first name basis with her?
Well,
I didn't
I'd
even
written
know
her a
she
note.
had a first name.
In terms of
I'd
formal
written her a
Japanese
note.
culture, you guys are basically married.
Well, that's the thing. When I am talking to her physically, I kind of try and avoid saying her name. That way I don't have to call her one or the other.
Normal.
What? Wait.
Just call her Arden Chan from now on. It'll be.
Yeah,
It'll be
Wayne's just
normal.
computing. Is like, so you talked to her. Great.
That's new? Unless talk is code for something
That would be
else.
That would
Oh,
also be
okay.
better.
You tell me.
Kel just blinks at her.
Never mind.
Cal legitimately doesn't know what it could be code for. That's weird.
It was weird.
All right. Anyone else have any downtime activities they would like to do in the meantime?
Yes. I'm looking through the DMG just to remind myself what is available to me, and I think what I would like to do in the days kind of leading up to Champions Day is I'd like to sow rumors. And
Okay.
basically what I'm trying to do is hype up the event and try and get interested parties interested.
Okay, so you're doing general promoting of the event, but in subtle guerrilla marketing type ways.
Yeah.
Okay. That should be no problem for you. You're kind of skilled at this sort of thing already. So you're gonna try to target key areas of town where you think hubbub could spread. The most logical ones that you know of are the major commerce hubs. There's the docks, the Seafair Bazaar, either of the hotels, sort of the town center near the windmill, and the comedy venue as well. You
It is on the city council.
what's that? Oh yeah, Huba is on the city council.
Isn't the guy that owns
Yes.
that place?
So, where would you like? You have the opportunity to target, any of these that you would like to, but you have a limited amount of time based on what your plans are. So, what would you like to do, specifically?
Let me
Just pass
see.
rumors at the bar. Go around. At this point, you've sort of made a name for yourself as one of Mayor Ronnie's closest advisors and just a member of the Zahula Guild. So,
Ronnie flinches every time they hear someone say Mayor Ronnie.
Wade does it once in a while, just like as he's passing by, going out to do this. And I think he hasn't told the party that he's going out to do this either. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna work hard so I can play hard later. And I think what I want to do is I want to go up to here, kind of in the town square. I also want to see if I can scout out here in the farm areas. I think we're going to attract a lot of pirates, but I also want to see if there's any, like, up-and-coming people who've gained a little courage from Mayor Ronnie and see if I can kind of target them.
okay.
So I think that Ronnie also would have talked to you about this, but I think they also plan to send some letters to other towns on Plantania to be like, come for the event of the island, blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
Good, yes. Hire somebody who doodles. You need a good, you need somebody with a good calligrapher. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask Oz.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, right. Okay, so Ronnie,
I always
one
forget
of
about
Ronnie's downtime activities is basically sending out recruitment flyers.
Yeah. I mean, they said it in the city council, but I think they're serious, like, getting more people to come here for, like, to be like, hey, this isn't the old, weird, bad town that it used to be. Come check us out. Come for our beautiful bazaar. Come do your trading here. Have you heard about the new chefs in town? We are a culinary scene.
You're basically the hotel, like, infomercial that plays on loop when you turn on the hotel TV.
Yes.
Our business center is open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. for all your printing needs.
I feel like Finn can help with this a little bit.
No,
I
too
would
busy
love
talking
for
to your
them
gun.
to have help.
And
You don't understand. Pink is cool.
You don't get it. You just need to see my vision. God damn it.
Okay, here we go.
I think what I'm also doing is kind of as like a plan, or not like a plan B, but like secret side objective. I think Wei is like kind of prospecting for Sahula Guild for new recruits kind of later down in the line.
Sure.
But yeah, mostly for Champions Day Fire Guard event.
Wei is recruiting interns.
Yes.
You don't understand the exposure alone.
Yeah.
Come expose yourself at our house.
Oh, it's that kind of guilt. Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm kind of just like around here, looking to see, just scouting out buff people, chatting with people.
Okay, so you're starting.
Vibing.
You said you were starting in the farmlands, right? To sort of scout out, and at this point, are your what is the what's like your method for this? Are you going like in disguise in character to talk things up, or are you going as, you know, a representative as yourself? How
I think
forward are you about this?
he is going as himself because he does kind of want to draw a crowd and draw an audience.
Did you
And
see my type 5 at the bazaar the other day?
yes.
My type 20?
Yeah, I'm your guy. And I think he's saying that he's going just to like check in on the city for Mayor Ronnie and to give them an update. And he's like, "Oh, you know, we're so busy. We're planning this event. The Ronnie had this great idea, the Champions Day Festival, and we're going to use this as an event to start up the fire guard. We're trying just organically bring it up, you know?"
Okay, so you're trying to be casual about it at the same time to gauge interest, but at the same time you're subtly pimping it up.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you do come you know, there's a lot of people who are sort of like older and set in their ways who, while they respect Mayor Ronnie, are a little bit skeptical about change, and the idea of creating a new police force in the city is sort of frightening and off-putting to them to a certain extent. So you are met with some, you know, cockeyed stares from some of the elder folk, the elder farmers in the farm region, but you do meet a couple people, some young men and women and they thems, who seem interested in participating, if not just like prodding you for info about what this new guard council, or this new fire guard is going to do. So how do you want to present this to them? Like, what's your selling point on this thing?
Yeah, these are young people, they're ambitious, they want change. I think what he's trying to do is like kind of play coy a little, or maybe that's not the right word, but he's trying to like get them interested and like just incept the thought into their head of, "Hey, shit, that sounds like something that I could do." So, talking about taking the city into a new era, talking about bringing the fire to this town, of bringing real justice, and showing pirates the real strength of this town. And then he kind of gestures dramatically to the farmland and all these really strong farm types.
Okay, make a persuasion roll with advantage. Okay, yeah, they are thoroughly persuaded. It seems like a lot of them look to one young man in particular as sort of a bellwether of the situation. And you find out that he is a human blacksmith by the name of Dingle Benshaw. He runs a small stall in the farmlands. He's sort of a competitor of Balfour Blacksmith, the guy who Slythe has been working for near your lodging. But he's not really You know, he's like you've been talking about. He's an up and comer. He's not exactly posing a major threat. He's really more of just a convenience and help. He does what he can. Horseshoes and some
Yeah, your scythe got dulled. You need to
exactly.
get it fixed up.
It's an ambition of his, but it is not. He's still level 1 in this ambition. But he pledges right then and there to participate in this this athletic contest on Champions Day, this wrestling event. And some of his friends also seem really excited about the prospect too. So in that way, you've done a good job with convincing him, and that day of work, you feel happy about what you've accomplished. You still have other downtime, and is there anything specific you would like to change tactics for other places like the docks or Seafair Bazaar, or would you like to resolve these with some quick persuasion rolls?
Yeah, I think I definitely do want to target the docks. And I think he would kind of want to do the same thing, kind of show up and be like, hey, Mayor Ronnie wants to check in on the town. Unfortunately, they're too busy with this Champions Day festival and setting up the new fire guard. Is there anything I can help you with?
Okay, so it's a soft sell, right? Your pitch is that you're here to help with other stuff, and you're going to help them with some of their labor or whatever. And in the meantime, you'll be casually chatting.
Patting up a storm. Yeah.
Okay. So they take you up on this with sort of a skeptical and quizzical glance. Like, make an insight check if you can see what they perceive what they're connoting to one another with a glance. You're not exactly sure. It's probably some salty seaman stuff. So you are going to do a bunch of physical labor with these guys. You get the feeling like after 20 minutes of this, they are not going easy on me at all. Please make a a couple of athletics checks for me. 2 athletics checks.
2 athletics checks. Okay. On the second one, I'd like to use inspiration. I have some.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, at first you're not doing so hot, but you eventually hit a stride later on, and one of them, who is a crew person aboard the vessel, named Thassia Morn, who's a sea elf, and swashbuckler. One thing you noticed about her is that she seems to be continually drinking and drunk, but it doesn't seem to impede her. She has some sort of drunken master kind of thing going on. But
my kind of woman.
Luckily, Finn is nowhere in earshot to hear this.
Very platonically, just under his breath. My kind of woman.
That's platonically my woman.
My kind of people.
Platonically, you are my property.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, you are mine now. I claim you publicly. So she, Thassia, is impressed by what you have to say, and she agrees to check out the festival in a casual way, but you see a glint in her eye that seems to suggest to you that she will probably attend the festivities and probably participate. Impressed, if not by your strength, by your sheer chutzpah and charm. So
And I
you-
make a note to myself to introduce her to Astrid later.
right. So at this point, you've made some big swings and they've come up successfully. You have 2 more opportunities to try to scout talent. Where else would you like to go?
I want to hit up the Under Tavern, but I feel like timing on the Under Tavern is going to be important. And then, let me see. I don't know if Yoho Chateau would have the audience that I'm necessarily looking for.
Sure.
But they
What about
could fill out
Usei?
the boxes if we're gonna have box seats. I don't know where I'm
Oh.
hosting this.
Trying to think. 'Cause I do want to. Oh yeah.
I was gonna be like, or they're tourists. They're in
Oh,
town.
just
This is the most authentic JXN experience that they could ever have. It's so lucky that they're here for this major event. You should totally extend your stay with the Yoho Chateau.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I like the buy. I'm gonna do that, and then in the evening, I'm gonna hit up the Under Tavern.
Okay, so you're gonna hit up Yoho Chateau first and then Under Tavern in the evening?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Yoho Chateau, you see a lot of outside of Usei, you see a lot of fancy pants type people who don't look very rough and tumble.
So the play here that I'm gonna do is a little bit different. The only person I would like actively recruit is Usei. Here, I'm gonna see if I can get sponsors and people wanting to invest in the games.
Love it.
Okay, so first off, let's resolve the Usei thing. So you're gonna go up to Usei's right outside as usual. He nods and gives you a handshake as you come up. Hey, I heard you're setting up an event in town. People are buzzing about it. Is it the kind of thing you think I should get involved in, or have you heard
Yeah.
that maybe I should keep some space? Should I hold space?
Does like an appraising like up and down long look, and he's like, no, I think you absolutely should.
make a persuasion with advantage. Okay, with the 25, he stiffens up a little bit in both ways. After
God.
you look him up and down, and he says he takes this in exactly the way that he wants to take this, hearing what he wants to hear, and says, "I'll be there, and I promise to put on a performance that proves how reliable I can be." He
That
sort
is
of
great to hear.
he gestures towards the open door so that you can go inside and make your sales pitch to the others. Lystra is waiting for you inside. Please make a persuasion on her to see if you can solicit inside there. And if you would like to tell me if you have any zhuzh for how you want to convince her, you can also pitch that as well.
So wait, I'm inciting to see, just check the vibe with Lystra,
No,
or
your
I'm
persuasion.
persuading.
It's persuasion to see if, Lystra doesn't. This is supposed to be a classy place. She normally wouldn't allow like a carnival barker to come in and talk about his flea circus, so to speak. That's not the vibe they're trying to cultivate in there. However, she knows you at this point. She knows your relationship to Mayor Ronnie. and is willing to hear you out, but you also get like the sort of the vibe off put that this could cause. So like yeah, so what I would like for you to do is roll persuasion, but if you have any specific thing, any specific way you want to speak to her, what you would like to say, I'll take that into consideration for, advantage or disadvantage or setting a DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you want to disadvantage yourself?
I think he goes up to the bar because he doesn't want to get thrown out again. And he's like, hey.
So I went to meet the president again.
So, kind of, we're working on a campaign to promote Jarek Spawn. You know something about that, right? Yeah, that's something you already are familiar with.
Yes, I do live here.
Right.
She thinks you mean the city.
Oh.
She's a little bit annoyed now because she thinks you mean you are familiar with Jarek Spawn, aren't you? She thinks you're being a dick for no reason at this point. You're not off to a good start.
Right. I love this for me. So, yeah, so we're just I wanted to see if I could get these illustrious customers to stick around in town a little longer for Champions Day. You know, rich people love gambling. Watching two men punch each other, it's like dog racing, right?
Okay, roll persuasion with disadvantage. She was with you on the idea of staying longer, but as soon as you compared her customers to dogs in a race or some such, she felt this was a very classless gesture. And okay, 13, she looks at you. You may speak for 1 minute, and please be respectful. She gestures towards the open common area where there's still a family of Kenku, stuck-up looking Kenku. There's a few upper crust looking wood elves in there as well. And some other just sort of various small groups and single travelers. How would you like to address them?
I asked to buy a bottle of Evermead.
Okay. Let me pull that up. Oh. Okay.
I'm about to regret this, aren't I?
I mean...
Okay, I feel like I have to ask now. How much?
I mean, the problem is I have wildly different prices here. Is Evermead legit? Did I make up Evermead?
Yeah, it's a dark red.
Yeah, it was the fancy wine that we had here at the Yoho Chateau.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, is it a Wizards thing, or did I make that up?
Oh, that I
Evermead. Nothing.
Yeah.
What's fun about Evermead is it also suggests the Nevermead.
Yeah. You can only get that as a McDonald's tie-in if you watch the Minecraft movie. Nethermead. Okay, so what I have here is that it costs 500 gold per bottle. Wait, no. I'm sorry. That's 500 gold per glass.
No
Never mind
way.
then.
I guess we need to start growing our own hops too.
Yeah, get the vineyard started.
Yes, our
Sponsored.
wine hops.
Yeah, Way does the Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing of like, I would like your finest wine. He's like, I would like a bottle of wine. Something that you would recommend to a guest in earnest.
Okay.
I'm not liquid right now. We just started a guild. You understand.
Okay. She like grabs like a table wine and hands it to you. And asks for 15 gold in exchange.
Oh yeah, pay it.
Okay. So you've got your wine. What would you like to do?
Is
Did I?
or is it just me?
No, it's everyone.
What?
You completely cut out there.
I
Everyone
completely cut
blacks
out?
out and decides to
Yeah,
join
for a second there.
the
You
day.
said so, and then that's the last thing we heard.
Oh, really?
E.
Okay. I said, okay, you've got your wine. What would you like to do next?
I think when Wei originally came in here, his plan was to like just kind of carouse, just like walk up to tables and kind of like almost like he's the manager of this place, but he's not. But I think now what he's gonna do is like walk up like it's an open mic and like toast to new Jarek spawn, and he'll pour some glasses for some people and say like, hey, we hope you appreciate the town. If you would like to see what New Jarek Spawn has to offer, we hope that you would gladly extend your stay at this lovely hotel for our Champions Day celebrations.
Okay, so not specifically asking them for donations, right? But just asking them to stick around.
Yeah, and then he might mention on the side just like, there's some real up and comers, you know, if you need a good investment, have a little fun.
Okay, make a persuasion roll. All right, 25. Some of them do consider this, and it seems like Lystra's eyes brighten as she sees a few customers come over and decide to extend their stay or make arrangements to do so. She turns to you with the smile and a nod that says, you know, it might have been slightly awkward initially, but you've done a good job. With this in mind, later that night or later a night during the week, you head to the Under Tavern, where you do find the Fight Pit folks hanging out. Still no sign of the hot bartender. You do see the other regulars there. The dirt pile folks are in their secret room in the back. What's your MO for this location?
I think they're already familiar with it, right?
They meaning the Fight Club or the dirt pile?
Yeah. Well, Darius, I imagine, has probably told them by now, but Big Kev was the first person we told, right?
That's true. You guys did
Medium
talk.
Kev.
You did talk to, Big Kev. I think the other fighters were Rook, who's the Kenku who speaks a lot of the time in mimicry. Zafira, who's an Air Genasi monk, and Alara, who is an Eladrin. And so, yeah, these guys are already on board and planning to attend. So no zhuzhing needed from you. Is there anything else you would like to do while you're here?
Yeah, I think cursory, I want to check in on one of them. I think they got really badly injured during the naughty fight.
Yeah, I'm having trouble remembering if that was Zafira or Elara, but one of them was injured and has seemed to be uh, almost fully recovered, still walking with a limp a little bit, but otherwise doing well and in bright spirits and looking forward. Sort of, they have sort of the mentality that like they were not expecting anything to change. So the fact that something is like their lives were pretty much content prior to this. They get whatever they want by, fighting and winning bar fights, and then they basically they don't really live in the tavern, but they practically do. You know what I mean? So they're excited to see what this holds and a new potential for fighting. It just seems like it's a win-win for them.
And I think as Wei has come down here and he's realized, like, oh yeah, we've already talked to the Fight Club in Under Tavern. I think what he's going to do here is a little bit more recon with them and try and figure out what Champions Day has looked like in the past.
Okay.
Get some inspo for the Pinterest board.
Make a charisma or persuasion, I guess, same diff, but like make it to just try to get some general intel out of them. Okay. With a 13, they aren't particularly cagey about this stuff, but they aren't big fonts of knowledge either. I think you get the sense that these people are drunks and they don't remember most major holidays as a result of that. But what you do get the sense of is that historically, Jarexbon has a very dark history with regards to this holiday, which is a celebration of strength. But Jarexbon has also, as a pirate community, taken that to be a punishment of the weak. And so those chosen, those would be discriminated against for not being super strong, were often, made to walk the plank into shark-infested waters, or be put in the town gallows and had fruit thrown at them, or other less fun activities. A lot of these are long rumored, 100-year-old traditions that seem to have happened. But some of them date back to as many as 5 years ago, when some people, sometimes it doesn't seem like the Firebeards did anything to discourage any of these traditions, and the day is sort of tainted by these things. So you realize that there is a little bit of bad blood that is associated with this holiday. And the other, make an insight check real quick, based as you're hearing this.
Insight.
All right, with your 25, you get the sense that there's actually, contrary to what you might think, in these people who seem to be excited about pushing towards a new era, you get the sense that they are actually kind of excited to see these acts of cruelty too. And it's a little off-putting, especially because you think of Big Kevin, these guys, as generally, they seem pretty reliable in so far as who they are, but you also get this is your reminder that this is Jarexbon, and there is there's just an undercurrent of piracy and bloodshed here that is hard to shake, as it's sort of built in. You file this away in your head as these people might be expecting some cruelty in the festivities. And in your mind, you pin this as something you might want to bring up with Ronnie later, because this is probably not Ronnie's vibe, but it probably should be addressed somehow, either through some sort of gag or trick or catch them off guard to semi-deliver what they want. Or having Ronnie make some sort of impassioned speech to make them change their ways. You're not sure how this might manifest.
'Cause
Please don't.
as we all know, Mayor Ronnie loves two things. Sorry.
Bloodshed and impassioned speech condemning bloodshed.
Yes.
They don't love bloodshed. They're just good at it.
Same thing.
Very good at it.
With this
They're
will
also very good at finding food in the wilderness. Okay, look.
it just doesn't come up.
Ronnie's
Multifaceted,
multifaceted.
very talented.
So at this point, your downtime activities have concluded. Oz, do you have anything in mind for what you would like to do with your downtime?
Oz in his downtime. Right now on his mind is just getting the gumbo seeds, but I don't know how much he can do right now of that.
Well, you
So
can,
Oz
if
would
you would
probably
like,
just-
you could at least hit like the library or work with Kel on trying to research them as best you can.
He is a wizard. He would go to the library.
Right. Kel, is that something that you would be interested in helping Oz with?
Yeah, 100%. I'm also just generally curious about how they're harvested. It's like if you plant a seed and then it turns into a full plant, do you get more seeds? Because that's not usually how plants work. So I think I'm also just trying to uncover how exactly these things work.
Right. Okay, so you guys are going to the library in Jarexbon, which, as you might expect, is run down and undersupplied. But in a what's the word for books you can't check out section? Like the research books that
The
they
restricted section?
Restricted.
Yeah, but there's something specific about that. Anyway,
The porn?
the porn. So anyway, you've got these they do have this like restricted room full of specialty books, and you're guessing that if you can find the information you want, it's probably in this restricted room. There is an officious gnomish librarian woman who seems to be suspicious of especially Oz, who as soon as she sees running his feathers along some of the stuff and touching stuff immediately, starts mumbling about children with chocolate on their fingers ruining the books, having no respect for anything. You Cal, this immediately strikes you as something of a laugh, considering how run down the place is. She could certainly be doing more for upkeep, even with limited funds. However, she does seem to be a bit of a brick wall for you guys in trying to get into this section. How would you like to try to get in there?
Does Oz notice that she's kind of staring at him and mumbling to herself?
Make an insight check. Nah, she just seems like a nice old lady to you.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, she's nice. Then Oz is gonna go right up and talk to her.
Her eyes widen and then narrow as you approach.
Hi.
Hello. How can
hi,
I
ma'am.
help you?
Hi. Me and my druid friend, we're trying to learn about agriculture and like planty stuff. We're like trying to grow food for my pets. Do you know where I could find books on that?
Specifically gumbo seeds, but yeah.
She looks back and forth, a little taken aback by how polite you are, given that you seem to her to be a naughty child at first glance. She thinks about this. Well, we do have some research materials in the back, but I'm not sure. I've never seen either of you before, and I'm not sure if you can be trusted with such delicate books. She seems to be eyeing your feathers as if worried that they might be covered in candy stickiness.
Oh, don't worry, ma'am. I'm a wizard. I know how to treat a book well.
Okay, make a persuasion check. Natural
I'm
one.
gonna luck point that because this
Sure.
seems important.
Sure.
And a nat one is a nat one.
19. Okay. You luck pointed successfully. Kel's pleading eyes behind you. Kel subtly wild shapes very, very subtly into a sad puppy dog eyed Kel. And this gives you the extra
Like
zhuzh you need.
Animorphs?
Yeah, he's anamorphing in the background. And I saw this thing earlier today. It made me think of Oddish because he and I have talked about Harry Potter a lot because we were both big fans of it growing up. And it was people complaining about J.K. Rowling, being a TERF and stuff. And someone was like, it was in the comments section on Facebook, and someone was like, can't someone tell all these not Disney adults, Harry Potter adults to just read Animorphs? And I was just like, look, I've read both those books, but there's a distinct quality difference. I'm not saying JK is Shakespeare. There's like 3 good Animorphs books, and each one of them is like 80 pages long. like I don't stand for her politics. I don't know. It just felt like it's like, why are you still listening to Michael Jackson? That guy is problematic. You should be listening to Sum 41 or some shit. Like, it's like, man, you had other options. You could have said like fucking Lewis Carroll or some shit. Anyway. Banivator!
The Animorphs are great.
Got him. Oh yeah. Anyone who doesn't like them is a total yerk. Let's she's gonna sigh deeply and say, please make sure that your hands are clean when you touch the delicate materials, and unlocks the back room and lets you guys in. She directs you to a very large, very heavy horticulture book that talks about rare and exotic plants. After some perusing, you do find this section on gumbo seeds, which does I just saw that. Oddish. Animorphs. It does have a section on gumbo seeds, which seem to be cultivated from trees that do not grow very large. They look sort of like those cool Serengeti trees, but they don't seem to grow to very large size, most of them being shorter than Kel himself. And they are noted for only growing in extremely humid, swampy climates, and typically take a long time to start producing. And it seems that only certain kinds of seeds that have the seeds are kind of like walnut sized almost, and there's a certain kind of them with a like a ribbon of extra material along the side of them naturally, a black ribbon that sort of bisects them in two, and these are the ones that can germinate and flourish into trees. And they're typically only produced at random by trees that have existed for at least 2 to 3 years. So, what you're able to discern from this, actually, it's probably smartest if you guys can both give me an intelligence save on this as you're trying to figure out how to make this possible. Okay, Oz, with your 24, and Kel with your natural 1, Kel, you're sort of getting lost in the weeds of this horticulture book, getting distracted by all of the different rare plants that you've never heard of, and as a result of that, your mind is buzzing with unrelated geeking out. Oz, you sort of intuit that in order to grow a tree and keep a producing tree, you would need to construct likely what would amount to a mini grow op type orchard, or like extremely humid tented hydroponic facility to get the right pH balance, and to functionally it would require likely partitioning off an area of the greenhouse to create its own climate, sort of like a if you're familiar with Breaking Bad, sort of like their tented, like safe spaces to avoid like the hazmat suits, avoid cross contamination. Basically, in order to in terms of creating the humidity and getting the pH balance, that's all stuff that you might need some sort of, there might be some way you'd need a regular heat source, which you do have in the furnace of the facility, but you need some way of piping that in there and making sure it is packed with enough water vapor that has the right amount of minerals in it to replicate. And even so, this might take time. Based on what you know, it seems like these plants have a better chance of producing these seeds if they are grown together in a group. So the best thing that you can think of is perhaps
in a grove.
What's that? What'd you say, Ray?
Sorry, you cut out for a second for me, and I just.
Oh, okay.
You cut out for a second for me, and I was going to be like in a grove, in a group, but then you came back in with groups, so I heard it. And then I
yes.
Again.
So yeah, it's basically like these things. The best thing you could think of to do this quickly, so you don't have to grow new trees from scratch, is to somehow try to find a way to safely import several saplings, which might be difficult in trying to get them to survive a journey from their native southern continent. But if you were to do so and you could construct sort of a facility for them, you would be theoretically able to have a seemingly unlimited supply, depending on how many they could produce. But in doing so, if you could get like 4 saplings and get them going and get the pH balance right and make sure they're getting the nutrients they need, you should at least be able to keep enough that you'd be able to keep your 2 birds happily fed, seeing as your 3rd bird flew the coop.
Yep, 2 birds. It's always been 2 birds. What are you making?
He's taking an Orwellian approach to his avian.
Oh yeah, dang it.
Yeah, that might be another downtime activity for me or Ronnie. bird catching.
I
with
forgot
a big,
that was one of my things.
with a big net. Okay, so with that in mind, you have the opportunity to start coming up with ways to do this. And you do have a contact who, with this Captain Reginald, who is, going to and fro this continent where these things grow on a regular basis. So there might be a way for you to acquire these saplings yourself, but it would require brokering a deal with him, and you do still have an ongoing agreement that needs to be considered as well, namely finding some place to set up a black market shop to undercut the local merchants who one of you has an ongoing black market deal to undercut the merchant, the other one has one to help the merchants, so it all balances out.
It all balances out, yeah. I would like to buy at least one seed and try and grow that with like a combination of my various magics, just as like an experiment, just to see how it goes.
Sure. Based on what Oz is able to communicate to you from what he understood, you find that the average seed will not germinate into a full tree. You would need one of these black band seeds. So if you're in the market for that,
does he have like a display where it's like a bunch of seeds in a box and we can just kind of ruffle through them and see if we can find the specific one?
You can attempt to do so, and as he sees you doing this, he asks you if you're looking for anything in particular. If you mention the black banded seed, he will say that he does have one in his case. However, he has had it for almost a year, and as a result of that, there's a chance that it may not blossom to full fruition unless it is planted and taken care of within the next 3 months. You don't know enough about these seeds. Okay, he says he will give it to you for 100 gold.
You drive a harsh bargain, my friend, but I'll have
might not even sprout.
Says Kel, not even trying to haggle. A harsh bargain indeed. Your asking price.
Wait. Why would you spend 100 gold on just something that's gonna rot in the ground and not even sprout?
Well, I guess it's more of a curiosity on my part anyway. If we can get this up and running, it's more about like personal accomplishment, I guess.
Oz looks at the person who's selling seeds. Look, just because you want something pretty in the greenhouse doesn't mean we need to spend 100 gold on something that's gonna rot. Oz looks at Kel with like the look of, don't talk about growing them to sell.
I don't know, but they look so pretty. I'd pay 150 for it.
No, you would not.
Oh my god.
You would not.
Reverse haggling. He pulls out a Sharpie and crosses out 100 and writes 150 on it. Genius.
Well, I mean, I guess we'd be taking it off your hands for 150 pieces. Do we have a deal?
No, you haggled them upwards, Kel.
Oh, is that not how this works?
No, that is not. You haggled down.
Oh, 149.
You want to keep your gold. You don't want to lose your gold.
Sold for 149 to the discerning buyer.
I did it, Oz.
No, you didn't. You really didn't.
Reducing my gold by 149.
Cal, I can't believe I'm the one who has to say this, but me and you need to have a conversation on how money works.
I thought you said that like there was no such thing as money or something.
Yes, when it was all credit, but now there isn't credit. You're spending actual gold. You're getting rid of an actual good from your pocket and exchanging it for something that's probably just going to rot in the dirt.
Oh, I wish my parents had taught me about global economy stuff.
Kel, you're thinking back to
I'm gonna
your
tell you
parents. Kel, you're thinking back to your parents, and you remember how in your village people would like collect these like tiny stumps and trade them around as a form of currency. And you're wishing everything could be reduced to that simple currency again. Oz, make an intelligence save for me. Oz, you get the sense that like you are suddenly realizing a mental divide between you and Kel, which is that Kel's knowledge of nature is sort of like based on innate understanding and not book learning. This might also explain why he seemed to only get more excited and less focused as you page through this giant book together. So you've now realized that, yeah, this might be a situation where you do have to become more parental towards Cal. In some ways, you guys are both equally sheltered, but have different skill sets.
You know what, Cal, I'm gonna tell you something my papa always told me. Never take gold out of your pocket unless you're either starving or dying or have no other option.
Starving or dying. Oh,
Kel taking notes.
yeah, I'll remember that,
Starving
Oz.
or dying.
Two
But
different
what about
things.
pretty things?
I mean, do they feed you or shelter you?
No.
I was just kind of shrugs and gestures.
You know what? You seem so good with money. Why don't you hang on to mine? And he proceeds to like start to put his hand in his
Like,
pocket to
no.
hand Oz his gold.
No, Cal, keep it in your pocket. Are you starving or dying in this moment?
No.
Mm.
Emotionally.
Am I gonna have to put like a lock on your pocket and give the key to Ronnie?
I mean, I just don't really understand how gold works. Back where I'm from, you know, we literally grow the things we would trade for goods and services.
Well, I mean, the climate here isn't really great where you can just grow everything. You need to have something you can trade for it.
I guess you're right. I mean, I'll try and remember what you said though. No spending unless I'm starving or dying. He reads
Yep,
it from his
that's
book.
just a good general rule.
Okay, so Cal, you've got the
Oz
seed
smiles
now.
knowing this is going to backfire.
Cal, you've got this seed now. Would you like to spend the rest of your downtime trying to mess with it in any way?
Yeah. I mean, I know we're not going back to the greenhouse for a while, but I will try and at least just get some soil from the swamp and like keep it in a jar or something.
Sure.
And see if that helps at all. Like the swamp to the north of the Firebeard Manor.
Sure.
Could I go with you?
Of course.
Yes.
I had several things I want to do, so I don't know how many I'll be allowed to. But one of them was try to visit the old temple and maybe clear it up a little bit,
Sure.
and also visit the swamp near where I had seen Nomatary
Okay, sounds good.
before, and just sort of like just meditate and just. But like I think also like thinking about the town and being like, we did kind of burn down this temple, and even though it had been occupied by people who maybe didn't have great intentions, this could be a place that like has real value for people here, and like Ronnie wants them to have that available.
Okay, sounds
So
good.
they're going to try to clean up the temple, maybe close, the weird maze in the basement.
Right.
But there's like, just repairing it.
Okay.
Oh, don't forget all the dead people in the walls.
Oh, right.
I want to get rid of that.
I'm pretty sure they probably burned.
Smells great in there, I'm sure.
Or maybe if it's like, and I mean, I don't know what state it's in actually. Like, if it's like totally burned down, then maybe it's like clearing that ground and then trying to like create a small, like nearby, maybe closer to the swamp, closer to where they met Nomentary. Like, so, but they want to like sort of establish some neutral place of worship or meditation for the people here and anyone who visits.
Okay. Why don't we get started on that after we come back from break? Let's go to break now, and then we will take care of that in a little bit. All right, guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, say 5 after the hour. Yeah, we'll be right back. Perfect. Is this a cheat on my wife minigame? Love fireworks and Ferris wheel. Oh my god. The lady needs a back massage. She will guide you.
A little bit right, a little bit down, a little bit right, a little bit down.
I'm gonna...
Right, a little bit down, a little bit right, a little bit down. Oh, just a tiny bit. Oh, just a tiny bit. There.
I'm not having an affair. I'm just giving a colleague a massage.
Ooh, you dirty old man.
What? Must win sex. I am the king of sex.
Oh, yes, you're the best.
Wow, the sex was so good she killed herself. Look behind you, you'll find a surprise. What? Of course. That's the price of his sin. It all makes sense, just like the Bible.
As a mosquito, there is something that you naturally have to do. You have to suck blood. You must suck and store away as much human blood as possible.
What the fuck
in
is
order
this?
to survive the winter.
By jumping over him, I can do anything I want. No. Haha! He's a better man than any human I've known. No! No! I was right there! I'm carrying too many items. Oh no, my arm! Where did it go? No! Oh, there it is. Okay. It's okay when the perverts of chat do it, but when you do it, it's wrong. Wait, is this actually happening? Oh my god! Wait! Wait, why? Why did her boobs grow? Oh, I found a new power. Check this out. Wow, wow. This is how I French kiss. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, fuck. No! Why would they do this? Why would they do this? You see what you do when you distract me? There's no SSRI that's powerful enough to stop this game. Gonna have to play the Burbs again. So I better give this the old college. Mr. Sega away team, I'd like you to explain what happened there, please. Grab. Nice, buddy. Can I go on top of this? What's nice is that this is the kind of game where if you do think of something like this to do, they give you a great reward like this. There's no way down. I've just soft locked the game. Fuck! Okay, great. Alright, so now we're at the place that I've PB'd on. This part. Where you legit can't see the platforms before you jump. What? What the fuck? I hate this part so much. No! Hey guys, look, it's Bug's fat ass. So you're welcome. This page is having a problem.
Ronnie's problem. I just want to leave. Let me fucking leave.
Stop making it. Don't. I don't want to be a part of this. I came up with this so that, or I didn't come up with it. You came up with this. We proposed it so that we could leave. Want to stay here? You could stay here.
All right. Okay, we are back, and so we're talking about. So, Kel, you are able to actually do a nature check on the soil in the swamp and just the general area around that.
Can I give them a help action?
Sure.
If we're going together, and I'm like, oh, I've been around this swamp. We've been in this swamp a couple times.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. You're not able to tell how specifically this is distinct from the stuff that Oz told you about from the book, but you are able to get a jar of soil and keep it for your experiments. Make a actually, one sec.
We die to crocodile.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. Please make a dex save, Cal.
And am I supposed to beat that?
Just
Ah,
Oh.
Okay. No, that was its stealth check, so those are actually unrelated. But yeah, you are able to dodge out of the way as a small crocodile tries to nip at your boot. While you are that was a stealth check to see if it beat your passive perception, as it was like creeping like a log nearby. But yeah, you were able to jump out of the way as it snaps and then disappears back into the water.
all the time in the city's dulling my nature senses. First this plant, then the crocodile.
Ronnie's like, sort of yells like to the little croc as it swims away, "Knock it off!"
Okay.
But then maybe like tosses in some jerky or something.
Ronnie, which would you like to do first? Working on the temple or trying to reach out to Nometary?
Can I? Well, it partly depends on what the state of the temple is like. Like, is it like, we burn it down to the ground? Like, what's its sort of state?
The stone structure of the temple is still in good shape. There is some smoke damage on the interior. The outside is boarded up, but there are some holes through where it's boarded up that you can see through. There's a lot of smoke damage on the inside, but the actual structure in which like congregations could gather, or there could be a church service of any kind, is actually in pretty good shape. You could there's buildings in town that look a lot worse. The downstairs, you imagine, is likely been destroyed by the fire. But you're not entirely sure. Would you like to try to pry off some of these boards on the front of it and get inside?
I think if they're aware sort of its general state beforehand, I think that they will probably start with going into the swamp, especially since they're there with Kel, and sort of being like, I don't know if you want to be part of this. I was going to go sort of, I guess, meditate, maybe, I guess, pray. I'm not really sure. But if you don't have to come if you don't want to.
I mean, hey, I'm happy to tag along, but if you need privacy, I don't really know how this cleric stuff works, but I'm more than happy to go back. I have what I came for. You sure you're gonna be okay?
I think I'll be okay. I think you're welcome. I don't think that it's a secret. But
Well,
I
if
don't
it's all
know
the
what
same
it's
to
going to be
you,
like.
if it's all the same to you, I'll come with you. You know, I'm already here, and maybe I can learn something about mindfulness. Apparently, that's something I need to work on.
What do I think you're? And then like strolling, I think you're very mindful. But I think they head back to the clearing where Normatary first appeared, and sort of like settled down. And I think they just want to put out an appeal, like sort of like make their intentions of like wanting there to be a place, like a sort of hallowed place here. And whether that is in the structure of the temple or the field next to the swamp, or perhaps the edge of the swamp, but like in a way that like could be kept safe for people, but that this is such a town of travelers and hopefully soon more people coming here, that like this could be, you know, not to be very like so modern, but like a really non-denominational kind of like, this is just, there should be a place here for anyone living or coming through here who seeks some sort of solace.
The
And
song
since we
playing
did,
right now is called Faltering Prayer.
Ooh.
So perfect.
Whoa.
Good shit. I love it when this happens.
Give us a
and I think they also tried to communicate that like they are going to work on restoring the temple regardless, because the damage, they were responsible for the damage. So it's not like they're asking for something for nothing.
give me just a general religion check as you're trying to reach out to Nometary.
Probably with advantage because of the song, right? All right. Well, you know, it honestly feels pretty accurate.
You feel a vague sense of something celestial nearby, but you don't feel the presence. A part of you wonders if it's because Kel is so close and this is a hermetical sort of god that you're reaching out to. But you also get the sense that, you know, silence from the god of wanderers is not always absence. It could also just be someone waiting and listening nearby. But you don't receive an exact response or any sort of blessing, but you don't receive any sort of
chastisement.
Disapproval. Yeah, exactly.
I think that works for Ronnie just fine, because like they said, they're sort of like, they're not at a point with their belief where they are asking, expecting, but they're sort of like, here's what I'm doing. I think that this aligns with you and I think you should be part of it. And then they're going to go do some work on the temple.
Okay.
I think, I will say, I think that like clearing out the temple and like cleaning it up is probably the work of the 9 days until
Right.
I think the first day they definitely want to send those letters out too.
Mm-hmm.
So they may get a start on the temple, figure out what's needed, maybe figure out like where they're going to get lumber, where the tools are going to come from, maybe try to hire Dingle Benshaw, and also and the other blacksmith, or like figure out like who might like want to help with this. Like that would be like day one, but that's going to be a whole week thing that they will work on.
Okay.
But they also want to do, day one is like send the letters to other towns with hopefully Oz and Finn's help to make them
look
beautiful
nice
and well written.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sending a letter isn't going to take very long. So, yeah, you can spend the rest of your downtime doing work on the chapel, the temple. Please give me 4 athletics checks to see how the work goes over the course of that time. Okay.
Well, not great.
So, well, let me do the thing. So that is, for anyone listening, that's an 11, a 27, a 12, and a 14. Okay, so over the course of this week or so, you fastidiously begin working. At first, you do the general scoping out and checking out the facilities for the most of the first day, and you see that what's probably going to happen is that you're going to have to clear out a lot of the refuse, try to either repair the burnt stones or cover them up with tapestries or something like that, and get rid of all these pews that were in there, because most of them are damaged and crumbling. They were kind of in disrepair before this happened. So the one thing of note that you do notice is that give me an investigation check real quick as you're checking out the basement's chambers.
Yeah, great.
It looks damaged beyond repair in a lot of ways, and the best thing you can think of it for now is to just sort of close it off. Maybe you can reclaim it inch by inch, but you also get no sense that there is anything undead or otherwise still in there. It was probably destroyed by the fire. Regardless, as you set out doing this work, even before you start asking for people's help, people start to take notice of the fact that that you and Kel are sort of working on this, and start jumping at the chance, especially the people of the farmland, to try to re-beautify this place. And over time, you do get a group of people going, and they help you. And with a little work, you've got a much more functional and welcoming version of the interior. At least the exterior could probably use a fresh coat of paint, or at least something else to make it look more inviting. But at least the inside now has working, recently constructed new benches for people to sit on, and a new wooden pulpit, and you've done the best you could to repair the damage to the stone statue of those that remain. And at present, it's in much better place, and you feel comfortable saying it's now, even though it's not currently manned for any sort of religious services, because there's no longer any priests or priestesses in the area, or just the ones that were operating out of here are no longer. So there is that, but as a general place of solace and worship, and a place to commune with a higher power or powers, you've done a decent job of putting it into a better position. And you've also managed to send out those letters as well. Okay, so I think that's everybody's downtime. Finn, yours was only one thing, and it was quick. Is there anything else you want to do in this downtime? And is there and after we've finished with Finn, we can, if there's anyone else who wants to quickly do something, just let me know.
I would love to ensure somehow, whether through technology or artistry, that there is a poster of Finn, posted in the Hoobaduba's place somewhere, visible.
Okay.
For no reason.
Does Finn canonically have any sort of artistic ability?
Yeah, she can do. She's like a doodler and a crafty person, but not like a painter.
Everything Finn does is artistic, apparently.
There you
That
go.
was the right answer.
So
I mean, you could ask Oz to do it.
yeah, that's what I was wondering, because
Yes,
Oz
time.
also has the ability to at least recreate things as best he can. So
I think as best he can is literally exactly.
1-to-1, right? Yeah. So if you'd like,
Wait, that's so funny. Kenku mimicry just means that all Kenkus are brilliant artists.
well, it's more like all
Technically, it's
Kenkus
not an
are.
artistic expression. It's just he's a photocopier.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
He's like a dot matrix printer. So, yeah, let's have, uh, so the way this is gonna work is that you're gonna get dressed exactly how you want to look for the poster, and then Oz is going to make a quote unquote like mental photograph of that, which he's going to convert into ink on paper with his mimicry, his Kenku
Perfect.
recall. So how would you like to dress yourself for the poster?
Oh, my magician's garb, obviously.
Okay, and how would you like to be posing?
Just like there's like a circle of. Can I make like a magic fire around me,
Yeah, I mean, I think you
like
could.
a good old like wand, whip.
Yeah, I think you could with prestidigitation too.
Yeah.
Okay, make a performance. Actually, make 2 performance rolls because you'll be posing for a little bit as Oz gets this down.
What the heck? This is not my day.
Okay, so you've got.
I burned myself.
You've got. Your pose looks perfect. It looks just like you. There is no embellishment or artistic license taken by Oz. However, this also means that you have a slight sneer on your face, as you were distracted by a mewling alley cat that climbed up on the windowsill while you were posing, and Oz caught this moment of you looking with annoyance at this loud cat. And the other problem or complication to it is the fact that you've made what typically when you do Bardic, you create these little hearts, pink hearts that hit people in the cheek or forehead or whatever, right? So with your prestidigitation and with your wonderful sparks in tow, you're trying to create, you know how when people have sparklers on 4th of July, perfect for Champions Day, you've got those sparkler photography where people move the thing really quickly and it creates the trail in the air. So you're attempting to do that with this, and to create a heart that sort of like goes around you in a cool 3D effect. And the result of it is, because of your distraction and just the performance roles you've just done, it kind of looks like, instead of a heart, it kind of looks like a butt.
Well,
but otherwise, it's pretty good.
you know what? It could be worse. It could be worse. Who doesn't love a good butt? You know?
You bring the
There's
poster
going to be
over
some confusion.
to. I mean, based on the clientele at the bachelor party, this might be an incentive. You bring this over to Hooba Dooba, or do you just put it up? I mean, it's your choice.
I'm just gonna put it on the wall.
Okay, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do this brazenly within full view of him, or are you gonna try to stealth in?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna do it and act like it's a completely normal thing to do.
Are you gonna put it in a place that looks nice, or are you just gonna try to put it in a central
like
location?
As close to the stage as it can be without looking off.
Okay, so there's like a stage wall that goes from that has like the door to backstage, and and it's like the wall between the stage and the bar. You just plaster it up.
Perfect.
And Hooba Dooba like stares at you and like gives you a look like, what the hell?
Oh, for memory's sake, you gotta start a Hall of Fame.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Please roll 20. Please.
He looks
I
like
have a plus 10.
you rolled a 2. He looks like mildly perturbed by this, but then he looks at you and he said, You know, I heard the word on the street is that you're going to be helping the merchants. So I'm going to let this slide. But I expect big things from you in the future.
He's on the city
You'll
council.
get him. Don't worry. I've got you.
Another handshake contract. The blood oath is born.
But wait, does she shake his hand?
I don't know. It's her call.
I don't shake his hand, but I finger gun and wink at him.
She's too far away. She's behind the bar.
Like Finn is now the patron of the merchants.
So corrupt. So with that, your poster is up and you are good to go. Does anyone else have anything else they would like to do?
How many people would you say live in this town?
I don't know. I mean, let's say there's a lot of tourism and a lot of tradespeople. Oh wait, there's a thing for this, right? It's like city size 5e. I'm not good at estimating this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I didn't want like a super big number, so it's fine if you just guess.
There's 12
Yeah, I know,
people
but
here.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. It would not be an accurate guess unless I looked it up. So I would say that there's about probably like 5,000 to 6,000 people.
Mm.
So we could do a banquet for a tenth of that population. For
Well,
a
could
tenth
we
of
not do a
Darkspawn.
banquet? Could we potentially do like
We could do like a potluck, like
It's
a
not-
community soup.
Mm.
stone soup
Good
style?
soup.
I just meant, could we have like maybe? Okay, you know what?
We could do drink tickets.
That's okay. I think Ronnie probably realizes that this was actually not feasible, but does still want to maybe talk to like Polly and Tavian about like setting up like food stands, where they don't have to give food away for free, but like we want like a food truck for the event.
Sure. And other people, you know, this is not the first time this has happened in town. Other people are preparing for this event.
Yeah,
Autonomously
the other
of
merchants
you.
are all doing stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
But we could also have Polly and Tavian potentially advertise it as like, this is what's going to be on offer at Sahula Guild.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hula Guild, the
What
restaurant.
if we offer like? What if we offered food merchants like vendor space and charged them for it, but then they could sell their food on the street side? But that would also limit how many, so they don't fight over space.
We could do it up on top on the cliff side if we want to have them on the mansion property, so that if we're doing stuff on the docks, everyone who comes up there to the food areas will have great views.
That would also really interest rich people that I did tell to stay at the show or stay for the show.
And then if people are coming in, we could like label the food place, you know, a taste of Jarek's Bond.
Ooh, yes.
Rich
And
people
we also
love
need
that.
we also
People
need
love
a,
that.
a gift stall with little overpriced tchotchkes.
A tote
know.
bag.
Yes.
Oh yeah, little things that fall apart once you get home.
Yeah, but still give you a memory of the event that happened.
Commemorative
Yeah,
shot
even
glass.
if it did lose its head.
I love commemorative shot glass. I want one.
So yeah, so they wanted to talk to them. If it doesn't seem like it will be a hard sell because this is a thing that vendors do, that sounds cool.
Yeah, they're
The
on
only other
board for
thing-
that. You don't have to persuade them. They want to be involved since it's a holiday. And yeah, they will set
Ronnie.
up it's pretty easy for Mayor Ronnie to ask to borrow a wagon, a carriage to use as sort of a food truck. And Tavian can just, Tavian and Polly can coordinate that. That should be no problem. Have you guys decided where you guys want to have the wrestling event actually take place? Typically, many of the events are held in the center of town. I'm actually going to take us over to the copy of Jarek Spawn map because I think because of all of the drawings you guys have done, it literally is slowing the load. So I'm going to ask you not to do that. I don't want to delete any of the nice things you've drawn. I just think like between my webcam always crashing during these sessions and the fact that I have to have 2 instances of the new more video card taxing Roll20 virtual tabletop that they came up with, which was very nice. I like it a lot, but it is more taxing. And between Discord having its audio problems, I'm just trying to troubleshoot in real time. So I'm not going to take away any of our drawings, but I am going to make this second instance of the town. And I just beg you not to. I think this will be better because like already it's not out of focus. So just keep that in mind when we are using the maps for the stream. Hopefully one day I'll have an even newer gaming PC and this won't be an issue, but for now. Anyway.
I think Ronnie maybe looks away. Do we want to talk to Apothecary about the dogs?
Yeah. If we want to do the water walking thing and just have everything on the docks, I think it would be sick.
I think it would really help this one stand out compared to other ones where I'm being told that there was a lot of bad behavior and cruelty that I think is unnecessary and shouldn't be part of how we do things.
Yeah, no, I got graphic detail about the public floggings and the tomato throwings, that sometimes the tomatoes were stuffed with other things or wholly rotten with maggots.
Maggots don't even like vegetables. Anyway,
tomatoes are fruits.
I really love not. I don't think they like fruits either. I think they like flesh.
Aw.
Dead flesh. Regardless. That's why they used to be used to clean wounds of necrotic flesh. Ronnie says helpfully.
Ronnie, I am eating breakfast.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think it would be great if we do a really big spectacle thing, like have the fights on the water, so that people are not sad that they don't have meaner things. And it's
also going to be a lot harder to throw things if you're throwing from the cliffside.
Like how they have railings up at a certain point in a zoo.
Yeah.
Also, it's just quite far.
Yes.
Wait, so what's
and
the
that
plan?
Way we can
water
corral
walking?
So the plan that we've been talking about in the Sahula Guild chat is having the arena be here and kind of hosting a majority of the games here. That's why we're talking. We want to talk to Yes, because we want to talk to Apothecary to see if she can help us figure out a water walking scenario, so that it's not always restricted to just the docks. Because if we wanted to have like a full-on like wrestling session, doing it on the water would be sick. Yeah.
Also, it would be kind of like flipping off the memory of Naughty, who like made it impossible for people to like hang out over there for a bit.
I love that.
Yeah. And also, like Scorch taking all their shit and making the docks maybe not a safe place.
Okay, so you guys are going to go over to the council and talk to Apothecary?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys head over to the council meeting, and Apothecary is with everybody else. Do you want to pull her aside, or do you want to speak to her in front of everybody?
I think maybe pull her and Darius aside. Wasn't he taking the lead on planning this? Because if he already has a bunch of plans, I don't want to step on his toes.
Yeah, he's been
because again, we're not on the city council.
right. Okay, so you pull him aside, as well as Apothecary, and you pitch this water walking, dock spectacular, and they both exchange looks, like they are not convinced, but they're listening. Darius is gonna cross his arms and sort of look to the side. Look, I get it. You know, you're all about the new stuff and shaking things up, but well, it's just typically Champions Day stuff is held in the center of town by the windmill simply because the docks are still active during the festival. Ships are still coming into ports, and you can't exactly change when you're, unless, a storm comes up. People sometimes be coming in from sea or have a schedule. They'll want to celebrate when they land, but they also don't want all the docks and shipping lanes clogged up by crowds either. It could cause some altercations between fishermen and merchants and other regular townsfolk. That's something you should consider. Although I do admit, fighting on the water is cool. But Apothecary chimes in. Yeah, I think we don't know how big the turnout for this is going to be. So it would require us to create a lot of potions of water walking, one for each contestant or combatant, if they were all to fight on the water. In general, this might be that might be more complicated than it needs to be. And I worry that some people who are hardened fighters with no magical experience might be put off by the idea of something they consider an unfair fight, or something that throws a monkey wrench into things that they weren't considering. So yeah, I would second either doing it in the farmland, the center of town, or even here. And we've got a big, wide area. She leads you guys outside towards where the gazebo is, where the wedding was held. This has all been land taken over by the mayor, but when there's no events going on, it's pretty much just blank and barren. It might be a cool thing for the town to invite them all on. Remember, the wedding wasn't even an open event. So it's also, if you want to show that the times have changed and this is a new welcoming place, opening up the mayor's grounds for this and, considering it as a council grounds could be a way of doing that too. And, you could always maybe do the water walking once or twice. Hey, what about this? What if it was like the final showdown between the top two contestants takes place on the water?
Wow, that would be really epic.
I would pay a lot of money to see that.
Right?
And I would also want the commemorative shot glass.
Most important.
Yes.
He laughs. Well, we do own a bar. We've got plenty of shot glasses. I'm sure we could whip something up. Grimm's been working on some weird project, but I'm sure he knows how to engrave or put images on glassware. Well, it's a merchandising opportunity if nothing else. But if you check out this area here, you can see that if we had everyone gathered up here, they'd still be able to get a good view of the water. And if we only closed down one of these docks, perhaps on the northern side, that would still allow for all the other ships to get in and hopefully not cause too many issues. I'm sure if a ship's coming in and saw two people battling it out on the water, that might they might be too interested to get too upset.
Huh?
Regardless, since you're here, I wanted to talk logistics about what the actual tournament would be like. I've come up with a few ideas, but I wanted to finalize them with you. I've of course run this over with Eric and the others, so just full disclosure on that. They're interested, but Eric, he's trying not to seem too enthused about anything you guys do.
Ronnie, hang on, give me 1 second. Fails at keeping a poker face.
Natural 0.
Oh my god.
Great job.
A natural 1 with a -1. 0 deception check. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. He said something.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys steal his garage door opener, or he thought you did? He's been really
He
weird
has
lately.
a garage?
I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. Don't worry about that part.
Am I here or
Didn't
not?
we hash this out in town already? He attacked Oz for it, but then Finn handed it to him.
That's not the way he told it, but yeah, I'm sure he seemed a little bit bashful coming back, so I felt like you guys probably gave him a talking to, at the very least. And Finn, if you want to be there, you can be. Anyone who wants to be there can be there for this meeting, this general.
As I recall, I don't think actually Ronnie knew that much about the stone and wasn't there for the
Yeah,
the
you got
trick at
there
the
late,
end.
right? Yeah.
So Ronnie is just like, what are you talking about?
Ronnie
Why
unable
does he have
to
the
deceive anyone in
garage?
this moment. Darius
Is
just
Eric
laughs.
old money?
I think if anything, Finn is just in the distance, like out, like leaning on the wall, being bored until she hears that, and just tries her best to continue looking bored.
Anyway, I thought the best way to do it would be to do it maybe sumo style, so that it doesn't come to a battle to the death. Some of these, if we're trying to get guardsmen, the last thing we want is to injure them all before their first day at work. So maybe it's
Ronnie
a
is
matter of
nodding enthusiastically.
So maybe it's a matter of we draw a ring with chalk or paint or something else in the center of town, and the goal is to throw the other one out, through wrestling moves, and try to focus on grapples and that sort of thing. That way, dexterous people
Sure.
can still have a leg up as well.
And people can tap out if they need to.
Exactly. We want it to be a show
Ronnie,
of strength.
I think it's like
but,
really in like a bond, trying to bond with Darius right now. Like, yeah, no, this is a great idea. This is fantastic. This is good.
he looks deeply
Way is
uncomfortable.
scratching his chin. He's like, Darius, what if, there's a swamp north of the mansion. What if we also made it like a mud wrestling thing?
What? You mean like?
What?
He looks at you as if rolling an insight check against you. Make an insight check against him to see if you can perceive what he's saying. You can tell just from the look, he has a certain connotation in mind when he hears mud wrestling, and he wants you to clarify if you mean for some sort of, sexy spectacle, or if you mean as part of this actual event.
Like, when I was kind of like thinking it up in my head, I was kind of thinking like a full city escapade, but if we're just going to be isolating it, the manor, still kind of keeping that all-terrain feel, there is a swamp, there's fucking beaches. I thought, throw a little randomness in there, a little mud. Not a weird sex thing.
But to be clear, you do want them to get all sloppy and roll around with each other.
Okay, I take back the mud thing.
Hey, it could work. That's not exactly out of the ordinary, but what I would recommend, look, I've been to a few bachelor parties. This isn't exactly outside my wheelhouse. It's not my thing, so please, nobody associate me with mud wrestling. but I think the best way to do this would be to create sort of a shallow pool and fill it with mud, as opposed to putting sexy bikini girls in crocodile-infested waters.
Yeah. I was thinking we like take a wheelbarrow and wheelbarrow the mud up here.
It's pretty easy to
Less-
make mud. It's like a 2-ingredient equation. It doesn't really have to be like most of the town is mud, in my opinion. It's not a slight against it. It's a if it's not cobblestone, there's a lot of mud.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, maybe that's an after-hours thing at the Under Tavern.
You're in charge.
I'm definitely not in charge of that. If you want mud wrestling, you can pitch
overall.
that.
Hey, we're not gonna yuck your yum, Darius. If you want
This was
a
your
sexy mud
idea.
wrestling thing,
No, you're in charge of
You were the
champion,
one
okay,
who-
not of the mud wrestling.
I just feel like it might tarnish, Sterling Mayor Ronnie's image to say, hey, yeah, this is a brand new era of sex games in the center of town.
I don't want that either. No,
Well,
I'm saying
Sounds
your
like
idea.
you do.
No, I don't think that's anything that
your
I've
top advisor is saying he'd like some topless advisors rolling in the mud.
Ronnie glares at Way.
how
No,
the hell?
That's why none of us are.
Did
That's why
both
Way
of
is
you-
not on the city council.
You both listened to me.
Yeah. You were saying a lot
And I-
with your what was left unsaid.
Ronnie's blushing, but you can't tell under their fur.
I'm gonna incite that.
Insight what, Ronnie?
Yes, Ronnie's blush.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Ronnie is blushing. Ronnie can't see what their ears are doing either, but the ears tell the story.
Okay, we're learning a lot about each other here. That's good.
Finn is still leaning against the wall nearby, and Darius is gonna lean in conspiratorially to you, Way, and be like, "You really think your girlfriend is gonna appreciate you trying to get ladies all muddy?"
You think I just want to get ladies muddy?
Look, fine, dudes too. That's not really the issue.
You're the one who's insisting this is a sex thing, man.
There is no non-sexy mud wrestling.
I don't know. I'm from a big city. I thought it would be fun.
I'm not
We don't
saying
get
it
mud
wouldn't
wrestling.
be fun. I'm just saying know what you're getting
Different
into.
kind of fun.
Look, maybe we should talk to Hooba Dooba about this. This seems like more his bag.
We can scrap this whole conversation.
No, I get it. I'll talk to him.
I think hosting it on the mansion grounds sounds like a great idea.
Cool. Good save there, Ronnie. And I pat him on
Hooba!
the arm.
This guy wants to do some like foxy boxing and
No.
stuff. Everyone in the vicinity turns and looks at Way. Yorkus drops his quill. Excuse me?
Yeah, Wei just turns to Darius just like, dude, what the fuck? I thought we were friends. I just told you.
You
Not a
said you
sex
wanted me
thing.
to check with Hooba, right? I just did.
No. I didn't say that. I told you to drop the mud.
I mean, we're gonna need to drop it somewhere specifically.
Oh, God.
I feel like Darius is being deliberately difficult right now.
Ronnie, do an insight check. To see
Is it
if
because
he's
we
being-
made fun of...
Yeah.
Is it because we made fun
he's
of Eric?
trying to play it so cool, but you can see the very faint smirk. He is totally trolling Way right now. So yeah, this guy says he's not gonna have a good Champions Day unless there's Men and women rolling around in the mud in like a big pit.
Yes, and I nominate Darius to be the first one. Congratulations, bud. And I pat him on the back and I go sit down.
I mean, sure, if you want to wrestle me in the mud, I'm down, but it might be embarrassing
Ronnie's
for you.
eyes get wide.
Finn hoots
I
from
am
the corner.
so confused.
Apothecary also joins in, hooting. Yorkus looks like deeply unsettled. He's staring off into the distance. What has my life become? This was supposed to be about
Same.
economic sensibility. I hate this festival. I hate this holiday.
I think Ronnie's gonna do
Think
their
of how
best
much revenue.
with this insight to like be like, ha, cool, Darius. We get it. You're giving Way a hard time. What a character he is, huh?
What's this weird expression you're making?
But seriously, it sounds like you're doing a really good job thinking through the logistics for this event. Is there anything you feel like you need support with, other than like, it sounds like setting up on the grounds is great. Do you need any help? Like, you've probably got everything you need to clear that top northmost dock if we want to do the finals in the water. Like, does this all, it seems like you've got things well in hand.
All of that the Under Tavern can take part with. We're right basically below where those docks are anyway. This whole area we've got a pretty good sense of. I am a little worried about crowd flow and logistics, moving everybody. You know, maybe it's time to take down this gate around the mansion. That would improve crowd flow. It's kind of a choke point right now.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
It really made more sense in the case of, you know, despotic regimes that would probably get a lot of pitchforks and torches coming to their door. But something tells me the Mayor Ronnie regime won't be quite that.
Not a regime, but yeah, I think it would be great to open the make it so it's not a fence.
What if we tear it down and that's like the opening bit?
Oh, that's cute.
We can get Slythe to do a little fireworks show.
Oh, that's not
Yeah, let's
bad.
blow it the fuck up.
Yeah, detonate the thing. I know
Wow.
Grim would be on board for that. Start things
Put some
with a bang.
fireworks in it.
Hey, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you very much for joining in, Rex Rides and all of your Raiders. Let's get you a shout out real quick. Sorry to interrupt the game real quick. Just going to do some Twitch duty. We're currently playing some Dungeons and Dragons and currently setting up a festival. One of our players is really obsessed with mud wrestling. We just learned. Desperately needs it. And yeah, thank you for coming in. Welcome in, everyone. Appreciate you guys being here. This is our, 70... Rex Rides is asking how far into campaign are we? We are currently... I think we passed our 75th episode recently, so I think this is like our 77th week of doing this, so it's quite a while, but narratively, still in Act 1. Anyway, yeah, sorry if I am not as super attentive to chat. I try to talk out during raids and stuff. This is a variety stream, but Thursday nights are always D&D. I do mostly retro and some modern stuff throughout the rest of the week. But yeah, chat will our lovely mods and players will be available to talk during chat in case I miss anything. Welcome on in. We still got about an hour of gameplay left for the evening. Yeah, and for you guys watching on VOD, remember we're here almost every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Shorestir. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about blowing up this fence here and using that as a way of starting the grand festivities. So that seems like something that is probably doable, and I think Slythe would definitely want to be involved in that. And with that, that's going to cut off a lot of the crowd flow concerns. The only other thing that Darius has worried about for the festival is that he He wants to know Mayor Ronnie's take on the public floggings and beatings and occasional deaths that happen during
Darius wants to know
Champions
that?
Day. Yeah, he does.
We
He's
are
at.
not doing that.
Pardon?
We won't be doing that.
Oh, okay. So this is wow. We probably should have told people that because there's kind of an expectation of punishing the weak in Jerickspawn. So
Well,
What if we
there
put up a
won't
big
be any
pinata?
more.
what's that?
Well,
Oz?
what if we?
Ozzy, what did you say?
Oh, what if we put up a big human-shaped pinata? Then people can beat that down and no one gets hurt. Unless it's an accident.
Oh,
Until they get drunk and they start misremembering what's a pinata and what's not.
that's actually
Mhm.
not a bad
Happened all the
idea.
time.
Hey, what if we put up Scorch and Nautilus effigies all over town and let people beat them up like
oh,
pinatas?
I love that.
That feels a little cultish. No?
Well, we did it with
I
Unless
like
Osama
they
bin
did
Laden
ruin
in
the
real
town and
life.
we did just take them down.
I'm much more fine with Scorch and or Nautilus pinatas around town and possibly a large effigy on the grounds, like, towards the end of the cliff that we set on fire or something. Those are fine with me. Beating real people is not.
We
Pinatalus.
can make a giant straw effigy, set it on fire at the end, and push it into the ocean.
Well, the Firebeards are still here. We're
So let's just do Nautilus then. That's fine. We don't have to do Scorch.
No, we
Oh.
could do Scorch. It'll remind the Firebeards to not try it again.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't like the guy at all.
Oh, you loved him?
No,
Darius,
why would
I feel like you're being
do
deliberately
that?
difficult.
Look,
I just want to know.
you
what
stuck
the
me on
thought
this boring
process
ass
is.
council. This is the most interesting conversation I've had in months.
What, you have no interest in bettering your town? I'm
Wait,
so
I thought
sorry.
you wanted to be.
Not
I'm sorry. It
really.
was an
I'm in the dirt pile.
I didn't mean. We didn't mean
This whole
to.
town's gonna be a dirt pile if you don't step up and do your job.
It's already.
No,
I said
yeah.
it's mostly mud. What part of this don't you get?
Also, Darius, if you don't want to be on the city council, you can't be compelled to be. I thought.
Well-
I hoped that you and the dirt pile, because you care so much about the
Oh
town,
my
would
God.
want to have a voice.
Please spare me the classic Mayor Ronnie passionate speech. I'm just giving you a hard
Why-
time, okay? I'm happy, all right? I'm happy. See, yeah. He forces a smile.
Despite the nat 20 on insight, Ronnie is still deeply confused about how Darius feels.
You understood one moment of his behavior, but that doesn't mean he's not a
One very obvious dickish moment.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's
It
still
took
a
a nat
complex
20 for
individual.
Ronnie to understand that he was just being a jerk.
I mean, that tracks for Ronnie's character, though.
It does. It's tough.
Is there anything else you want to discuss with this idea of doing Nautilus or Scorch effigies in place? Do you want to do Scorch effigies too, or just Nautilus?
I think Ronnie will probably be like, I think perhaps a primary one on the grounds would just be Nautilus. But if there is a influx of pinatas of any one, perhaps there could be some Mayor Ronnie ones. People are like annoyed with me. Maybe there's a market for that too, right? But the pinatas could just be made and sold by anyone. That we don't have to put that out.
I wouldn't recommend that. I feel like that could create
That
problems.
would be encouraging someone, yeah.
Yeah, actual people are gonna get hit with sticks then.
Yeah, let's stick with dead people.
Look,
Okay,
Dead
I don't.
people?
Maybe I don't understand how lifelike pinatas are here. The craftsmanship.
oh yeah, we take pinatas very seriously here. The thing is, whenever there's these events, whether they're, like hot dog eating contests or spitting contests or wrestling contests or,
Pickles.
arm wrestling, yeah, who can suck down the most sewer pickles. The thing is, typically in Jarek Spawn, you got a big winner, right? And they get, like a little paper crown, and maybe someone has sex with them and they get some beer and stuff. But
That was also Ronnie coughing.
but usually the person who loses those events, like the one who does worse, gets the shit beat out of them or shit thrown
Why?
at them.
They already lost.
Well, yeah, that's why it's that as they take their punishment kind of thing.
Wait, they get the shit beat out of them because in a fight, and then they get the shit beat out of them again?
Well, yeah, it's like if you saw someone kicking a puppy, you'd want to join in, kind of thing.
No, I
Who
don't think
are
that
you?
Huh?
Look,
What if we got like something that doesn't hurt the person being hit, like big pool noodles or something? So people still get the fun of swinging something, but no one actually gets hurt.
that might work for the kids, but I feel like a lot of the pirates in town would just force them down people's throats. I've seen people do things with pool noodles you wouldn't expect.
Suddenly, I feel like I want to excuse myself from this room again, but I don't know why.
I'm just
What
saying.
if
Go ahead.
the theme I've heard in the past is Champions Day is punishing the weak. What if we used this as an opportunity, and kind of looks at Ronnie, to theme it as, I don't know, rolls his eyes, strength in unity.
It sounds kind of
Ronnie
lame.
beams.
That is so cheesy.
Yeah,
It is really cheesy, but I don't know, it's a new era.
Look, you can brand it however you want. I'm just saying, after an event ends, people are going to want to beat up something. If it's not a person, it's going to be a goat or something, and that's messy too. So I would just say you set up some effigies, one for each event, of people that people hate, Godkin, tax collectors. I don't know.
I think
People who floss in
Godkin will do.
public.
Let's just do Nautilus, I think.
Yeah, and then all the
Right?
kids in
Yeah.
town can use their
common
knives
enemy.
and daggers and chop something up, and everyone can feel good
Yeah.
about themselves.
Yeah, I think that works great. They need to practice.
We could fill them up with like goat's blood or whatever. That way, it's got like a satisfying squish.
You
What
Is that a
wrong
way
with
to
Wait,
you
what?
people?
Do we
I
have a
think-
lot of goats?
Dreams?
I mean, I saw some over there. He points towards the farm at the south of town. Feels like you can
Not
just
your
grab
goats.
one.
Not your goats.
You guys don't
Nope.
do candy here?
Well, candy's for
Candy
the
and
rich,
piñatas?
and violence is free. So.
Can we afford a lot of candy? This is me. I'm asking you, the DM.
Yeah, I know.
Can we invent
I'm
realistic
deciding how
candy?
evil to be about this. It's like, how much money do you have? Because that's how much candy costs. I mean, I would assume you probably could. It's really more a matter of availability. Let's say you're having this conversation, like 3 days out from the thing, right? Well, maybe that's not fair. I would say it is possible to get candy, although if you wanted enough so that like every person in town could have a handful, you would probably need to import some from Owasara and Enchantra. And that's a tight turnaround and would require expedited travel. And there's always the chance on these roads that stuff could get robbed or just
Forget
people.
it. That's fine. We don't have to do that. But I don't think we have to do blood. I think they could just take it apart.
I
Right,
mean,
right,
We
we
don't
could
want
do-
anything wet in it. It's gonna make it soggy and fall apart.
Yeah, but that's sort of what happened to Nautilus, right?
Yeah, but
No.
you
We
don't
just
want the
did-
pinata falling apart before someone takes a swing at it.
Oh, that's true.
red paper?
Oh,
confetti.
Like confetti.
you know, there's like a cemetery. We could get some bones and put them in. Those smash up good.
We
You
could
know
fill them
what?
with teeth.
That's
Again,
smart.
I feel like you're being deliberately
I feel like
difficult.
this is a good compromise, and I trust you wholeheartedly to figure out the details of this pinata.
Yeah, I mean, pinata making is not really my thing, but yeah, I could see about it. We got the dirt pile, you know.
What, do you guys have a pinata guy?
No, it's just this has Lyra written all over it. You know, she's a bard. She does this kind of stuff. They're all about making interesting, weird shit. I'll talk to her about
Yeah,
it.
Finn,
I'm
don't
sure
you
she's.
do something like that?
Well, nothing I make is weird.
Not a race.
that face you're making is kind of weird.
This
well,
is my face.
yeah.
No,
RBF.
no, I
sue
mean
me.
the one on the poster. I saw it at Hooba Dooba's place. You're like sneering or something.
It's a look of confidence. Anyway, I can't make a whole giant effigy, but I can make some candy that lasts for an hour.
Oh, could you
Well,
make smaller?
it sounds very
pinatas?
filling.
I can work on the large effigy.
Hey, I had to poop, but an hour passed, so now I don't. Kids are gonna love that.
Does candy make you poop? Do kids think a lot about how often they need to poop?
Oh man,
Also,
when I
that
was a kid,
sounds like
that's
the
all I
best
need to
kind
think
of
about.
food.
I mean, if I was a kid and I ate candy and then an hour ready for candy, I would go batshit crazy for that. I don't know about you.
All right, fine. You've out stupided me. All right, whatever. I don't care anymore. He just walks away.
Anyway,
Cool. We can definitely
Carrie,
trust
I'm so
him.
sorry for making you listen to all that. I think we do want to do at least maybe the finals or some amount of fights on the water because that seems very cool. And if it doesn't end up working, I will just buy the water walking potions from you just straight up for myself because I want to more of those in general. If that's okay.
I also have water walking. I put my hand up.
Yes, but don't.
Is that a
I
con?
suppose
Do you
could
have to
ritual
concentrate?
cast it on the winners.
Hey, didn't
I
you
don't
do
think
that during the
I-
fight with Nautilus? So
Yeah, I don't think I do have to concentrate, and I can pick up to 10 people.
It's
Oh, you
not
can get up to 10
concentration,
people.
and you
Yeah.
can ritual cast it.
and you only need
Exactly.
2 if it's 2 people fighting. I mean,
Yeah, but you could.
And that will protect the runner-up from being flayed alive if they're out on the water.
They just run out to sea.
Yeah. Circle around the swamp. I don't know.
yeah, I'm gonna run in one direction deeper into the ocean until this potion runs off. Surely nothing
Probably
bad
warn
can
them
happen.
about the Barnacoth.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you've done some good planning for this event. Is there anything else you guys need to
Have
do
we?
before you've done some planning for the
We've
event?
done some planning.
We've done some planning.
You've done something. Is there anything else you want to do before we cut ahead to
I want to catch the bird. I want to try to catch the bird.
Okay, great. All right.
Oh, the bird. Yeah.
I might
beca-
try to enlist Kel's help for if you could wild shape and see if you can find it or something.
Of course.
But I
because
want to try to catch the other Tequasil.
because of the amount of time that various party members have spent doing other activities, and the amount of time you spent repairing the church as well, you only have 1 day to dedicate to doing this, and you will have available to help you. You will have Finn, Kel, and Oz. Way is still busy doing his buttering up townspeople. So if you would like to enlist any of them to help you spend a day of their free time trying to catch this loose male bird, then you can do so.
I would like to enlist anyone who is willing to help me. But otherwise, I will just be doing it.
Oz, how do you feel about this plan, by the way?
Oz is currently taking care of the other two birds. If Ronnie mentions this out loud, it's like, what? What do you mean? We only have two birds. Why would we catch the other one?
Oh yeah, that makes me remember that you have two birds who each need one nut per day, and you have 9 days. So you need 18 nuts, and you started with 9. Right? So therefore you will, in order to take care of these birds, you will need to procure at least 9 more, and however many more you want for future days until you get your nut storage system up and running. And you can try to do so from the regular buyer for the regular price, or you can try to leverage your connection with Captain Reginald to get you a cheaper price on them.
I was gonna say, if it's a full 9 days, I would definitely be using that time to try to at least set up getting cheaper nuts.
You already have the connection with Reginald. He's waiting for for you to find a space for him, which is also something you could be doing with your free time while doing this other stuff, since you only did one activity with Kel. So if you would like to try to scout out a location during this time, you can, which can affect how much food you need for the Tiqua cells, or you can forego that and just try to negotiate with him to try to get yourself a personal supply of them for like half price if you negotiate well enough.
I can do it. I'm great at haggling.
No, you are not. Tito sells potatoes, right? Do you think he'd want to sell seeds? Because what are potatoes but just seeds? It's big, starchy seeds.
I don't think he actually does sell potatoes. I think you guys decided he did. And then he...
No,
wait,
he
did you
definitely
convince
does.
him? You convinced him at one point, I think. Maybe. I don't know if he actually
Yeah,
does it. He also doesn't have a home or shop or anything, because he lives with Al now.
He's a small business. We're helping him get started, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We're helping the town and the small businesses.
The merchants.
When you go and talk, would you like to try to talk to Tito about it?
Yes, Ozzy would.
When you go
Ozzy is convinced he sells potatoes.
Tito seems not too excited about this idea, because especially with Al backing him up, because they're part of this merchants agreement that basically says, is trying to avoid this sort of like black market dealing. Although make an intelligence save, Oz. Yeah, you're like, doesn't Al run a black market of his own in his basement? Maybe there's a way to lean against him for that.
Is Al present, or is it just Tito?
He's there. They're both there.
Hey, Al, do you think I could talk to you for a second?
Oh, fine. Go ahead.
Well, you like to sell your, really fun toys in the basement, right?
Yes.
I mean, it would make sense if you provided, some rarities and curiosities there as well. But for a better price for just, those who might already be in the market for them.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I'm thinking, you could probably provide, some gumbo seeds to those customers down there as well, but at a better price. But, it wouldn't be out in the open. It wouldn't be making people upset. It just, be some here for people who need them.
He is not sure. The deal he has now is that he's not really screwing anyone over. He was only screwing over the Firebeards who were regulating magic items. This would be him taking a more liberal view about screwing over his not coworkers, but like-minded merchants. Please make a persuasion roll.
All right. However this turns out, Ozzy has some words to go with it.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Well, think about it this way, that guy at the stall, he's charging so much, he's stifling the mail service in this town with its cost. If you could bring that cost down a little bit, it could get the mail flowing a bit, which could, help you get in touch with more people to get some more fun stuff in your store.
All right. Look, I understand potential money-making operation here, and I don't mind your cleverness, kid. But what I worry about is, when shit like this gets found out, it can go sideways real fast. I would agree to do this, but only if you were the one to take the blame, should anyone find out. I'm not willing to risk my whole business over some seed scam.
Well, if you think it's dangerous to run it in this town, what if we say, do you have someone that you know in the next town over that we could set up a little shop there? Because if anyone, comes knocking about it, it's the next town over. Not everyone wanted to travel.
Is that a real thing, or is that just a made-up thing that we tell people that it's happening in the next town over?
No, a real thing. I mean, me and my buddies, we live up there. We have a house up there. We could definitely get a shop set up.
Oh, you mean in Hollow's End?
Yeah. Then instead of, we just have to pay someone to cart the seeds up.
Well, I don't really have any contacts there, but it sounds like you might already. Having another person involved for carting the seeds, seems like another mouth to feed, another payout. Look, if you want to have the seeds here, I've set my terms. If it's anything else, I don't know if I can help you.
All right, I'll have to think about it.
All right.
It's Oz's way of saying, I don't want this to fall on me.
You still have hungry birds to think about, though. And you still have 9 seeds, at least, you need to gather, plus however many you need in the future.
That he does.
Would you... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You.
Did Reginald say anything about, like, a one-time deal to just buy a few off of him for cheaper?
No, but...
Well,
based on...
wasn't there, like, a long-term contract where you could do, like, 3 months while you get your tree growing? Just don't mention you got the tree growing?
I feel like there is an opportunity there for that kind of deal, but you haven't made that kind of deal. The current deal as it stands is Oz finds a place below, a subterranean place, basically, where they can set up a regular shop and sell them a little bit, basically at cost, to undercut the merchants of town, and get direct income that way.
I wonder if we get the Under Tavern to sell them as like high-end bar snacks. Oz puts little quotations around it. Because then it's not undercutting the guy because he's selling them as a snack and in a place that, you know, technically kind of isn't there, even though it is there.
Who is Oz pitching this to right now, by the way? Himself.
Oz has not left Tito and his buddy. Oz is just speaking out loud to them. More to himself, but they happen to be there so he doesn't look crazy.
Yeah, he's just sort of staring off into at the glass and is just like, And Tito's gonna pipe up. Oh, I'm not sure. I feel like if you were selling them, then wouldn't that still undercut the merchants a little bit?
I mean, no one says the other Under Tavern is undercutting the other bars up here. They're just selling a fancy bar snack.
Right, but well, I wash my hands of this. He physically washes his hands as if not wanting to get involved in this dirty business.
All right, then you two saw or heard nothing. And Oz leaves.
They exchange a concerned look. Where are you off to now, Oz?
I'm gonna make a quick roll to see if Oz heads to the party or the Under Tavern. Oz is heading to the party to talk this over.
Okay, you meet up with everybody else, and what's on your mind?
Oz is going to try pitching his idea to any party members that would listen.
Way's all
bar
ready.
snacks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ronnie's miserable.
What do you think? Wait, you look excited, yeah?
Oh yeah. You got a look in your eye. It's getting me excited.
You know,
Well-
just high-end bar snacks, the best you can buy. They're not like the ones you get from the fruit stall. These are already ready to go, so they're a bit, you know, cheaper than the food stall.
I think Ronnie actually fully leaves.
Ronnie assents.
And he's just like, I don't think I can have control over this. This is like, it's not my place to tell everyone what to do, but I can't be here for this. And
Ronnie is grabbing their
they're gonna go work
ears,
on the temple.
pulling them
They're
down,
gonna go do
tying
some
them in a
physical
knot.
labor and try to like zone out.
So the Under Tavern.
Yeah, and then they can provide them with, you know, little to-go containers, because no one can be expected to eat all of them or, you know, even one of them in a sitting.
Right, yeah, no, they're like half the size of my face, yeah. Problem is, then we'd have to trust the dirt pile, right? Because Hot Bartender's not there, and Darius made it sound like they own the bar now.
Where did Hot Bartender go?
I haven't seen him! And then
Wait, the
there was that
bartender
weird...
left?
Yeah, there's no Hot Bartender! Every time I've been down there, he's been gone.
Did he just get scared and leave town or something?
Oh shit, do you think he ditched with money? He's not on our list, is he? Did we get a list?
I don't-
Everyone looks around for a list.
If there was a list, Ronnie had it.
Yeah, Ronnie's gone. Ronnie's listening to an All Rush mixtape and like hammering pews right now.
I don't know if they... Yes, probably, but... Another time. It'll be fine. There was the trash hole that's right next to the Under Tavern, like the cave that's right next to it.
True.
We could do something there, and then we don't have to cut in the dirt pile.
Yeah, like a secret stash.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they would love that.
Yeah.
Also, I had another idea. Do you think it would be possible to get the tree people down in the forest down south to, grow something for us? Like not to sell, just for us. Just come to them with the plight of hungry birds.
They
I
seem
think if
pretty.
anyone could do it, it'd be for you.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say they're kind of uppity, but you did kind of have a way with them.
I mean,
I
they
was
just speak
thinking-
Elvish. They're fine people. You just yell to them in a language they didn't understand.
I didn't even say a word to them. I just couldn't understand them. What about the under the bridge too? Are Allie and Chunko still there, or did they move out? Maybe set up shop there.
Wait, you're right. Allie would love to run a black market food stall. Just promise her gold and she'll be so happy.
I mean, you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
and if you say black market, she'll probably get really excited. Just make sure she doesn't know what it's for.
I mean, just tell her that she's screwing over another merchant. She'll probably be game.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing is, do we want that to happen? Because, the merchants are cool.
You would charge 10 gold
I just
per
realized
seed
what was
per
happening.
bird per day.
Oh my god.
That
So
is
like-
100 gold for 5 days. Finn, do you have that kind of gold?
I don't, but all I'm saying is we should consider other people.
Everyone
Finn,
stares
I am
at Finn,
considering
who has
you on
uttered
bird
this
duty for
totally
10
out
for
of
these
character
birds.
thing.
a chill goes down Ronnie's spine.
Yeah, somewhere.
Also, I feel like Wei knows what something is the fuck up because that's.
Yeah, Wei just gives you a
Other
look and he's like,
people's feelings are important.
"What are you smoking?"
What?
You stole a camera 2 days ago from an innocent
We
man
watched
who
you
bought it.
steal
It wasn't
that
even-
camera.
Wasn't even
I
evil.
And it
gaslit
was-
him for you.
And it was a learning experience for me.
You know, I like this new change in heart, Finn. You can support the merchants by buying all the seeds for our birds.
I already used up all of my dad's money. I can't.
My dad's money. Holy shit.
I mean, you
God, we
care
need to
so
get
much
work
about the
soon.
merchants. Don't you want to support them?
The thing is, Finn doesn't give a shit, so she can't even lie to herself right now. She's got. I'll just, I'm just. If you, Oz, you're the bird kid. You can do whatever you want.
Good parenting.
Another
Oz's
idea.
eye twitches a little bit because that is not the advice he wanted in this moment.
It's sort of an absolution. It's a Pontius Pilate move, is what it is. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
What happens when you
Okay.
all make Ronnie feel stupid for trying to be nice to people?
So Oz, you get the nymphs to grow the gumbo seed.
We could fit out our greenhouse to do it. The only problem is if we did that, then we'd have to either port it down or have the operation move once we get it set up there.
Right. So we can have the nymphs be a temporary thing, or well, not or. Another idea for the selling: do it out in the forest outside of town.
These things are really hard to grow. You need
No,
really
no.
specific conditions.
I'm not talking about growing. I'm talking about selling. You don't want to piss off merchants here. You don't sell here.
Dryads.
What if we sold in the... Well, actually, no. The swamp, someone would get eaten.
A lot of crocodiles. I was thinking open sea or a floating dock kind of thing, or
Wait,
the crossroads for selling,
What if-
not for growing.
We befriended and trained the crocodile and made them do runs with the seeds.
But
Yeah, you know what?
training takes time.
I think you guys have got this handled.
In the chat, it says Finn is planning to single-handedly traffic some seeds to the merchants to create a healthy competitive climate. I feel like this is going to be some sort of seed cleavage smuggling operation that I don't think I'm prepared to RP.
It's the peanut cult all over again.
We've come full circle.
I mean, Oz is pretty much proposing that we have like drug mule crocodiles.
Wow, I didn't realize we were there. Okay, great. Drug mule crocodiles.
That's like a step.
Used
That's
by
like a step.
everything.
No, it's not
They're
even
gonna
step 3.
swim
That's
up
like
the
a step
entire
5.
ocean. Not the entire ocean, but they have to swim both the ocean.
I mean, as long as they're like saltwater crocodiles, that should be fine. That's not the issue.
Crocodiles known for their speed and messenger abilities.
I mean, they are very fast in short bursts.
Or, you know, we could just have Kel be a messenger pigeon.
Yeah, Kel doesn't get to adventure anymore. Kel is now just a mule.
Or you could use the, I don't
In
know,
both sense of the
magical
word.
messenger
Please
birds that you
do
literally have.
All two of them.
But they will eat their own food.
Yeah, they really
They go
will.
batshit crazy over it.
I mean, that first bird is the one that brought, or not our bird, but the male bird brought the package of the seeds. They can be trained.
I can't.
You know, when I made this character, I didn't see his character arc going to drug kingpin.
You know, I didn't either, but
I love it for
now
him.
that it's happening, it doesn't feel wrong.
No, it feels
Yeah.
earned. That's the weirdest part. It's just such a funny, like, you guys did not give a shit. It's just funny because, like, Oz gets to Jarek spawn, they're like thousands of dollars in debt, doesn't care, money's not real. As soon as it's about pet food, this is like the most important economic discussion we've ever had.
Well, there's a change in government. Money's real again. There's actually something to back it.
Well, and also, like, Oz being, like, the weird, like, I don't know, like, kingpin mafioso who also just, like, all about exotic pets for some reason.
It's like a Deuce Bigelow
They
situation.
literally have the like high-end displacer kitten.
No.
He's gonna be like the drug
displacer
kingpin
kitten
sitting
is
back
there.
petting his large spotted displacer beast.
Eddie is there, who is a unknown mystery to science. Like,
Not if I have anything to say about it.
Hell, do a performance check for the pose you strike while saying
Not a
that.
With disadvantage, you said?
No, just with regular.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't need it. This isn't going to be a good roll.
No, it's, well,
You strike a pose. Not if I have anything to say about it. Everyone looks at you and then just turns away and continues talking as if you didn't do anything. It's somehow worse than being reprimanded. You shrug. You sort of like shrink down a little bit, like, Dr. Wilder would have liked that if she was here. I hate Grand Haven.
Looks
So
fondly
who-
back at him, telling her that he'll find her.
Somewhere she shudders in the middle of a tribunal. Pay attention! What the hell is an Umbrelux?
Who have you talked this business arrangement with? Who knows?
yes.
How
Who's
many people
involved
have you
here?
already told about the secret black market thing?
Just you guys. My importer, Captain Reginald. And then I talked to Tito and
Uh-huh.
Al, but I made it very clear that we never talked.
True.
Wow.
I didn't say it
Okay.
that much.
It could be worse. So we've got a few venues. I'm also thinking there's the Wreckage Pet Shop. There's probably a basement in there.
We just have to make sure that, you know, if Ronnie's still in the room, the mayor doesn't see it a priority to demolish a burned down building.
Ronnie is not in the room. Ronnie is working on the temple right now.
Yeah, Ronnie is physically as far away from you
Power
as
walked
possible.
to the temple.
Ronnie heard multiple people start talking about different angles of weird, shady business, and they were like, You know what? I don't need to. I don't run this town. I don't need to be part of this. We saved the town as much as I think we can, and now this is not on me anymore. No, no, no.
Okay, if you have an importer who can cut in cheap, or who can give us a deal, the Under Tavern, the cave next to it makes the most sense. It's going to be discreet. Not as many people are going to necessarily go past the Under Tavern. It's going to be easy for him to access.
I just worry a cave by the sea is gonna be real moist. Is that gonna ruin our product?
How sensitive is it? How have we been storing it?
I mean, I've been keeping them in my bags. They're seeds, they're nuts. They're gonna rot if they get wet.
So we buy
Well-
a crate and we get like an artificer to like water.
I don't know about rotting as well. If anything, getting seeds wet usually makes them grow. I don't know how these will work because they're not nutritious in any way, but like they have that hard outer shell, right? I feel like they're pretty hardy. Can I do a
Yeah,
nature
but-
check to see if I'm pulling that out of my ass? Because I truly don't know.
Okay, sure. 18. Sounds right to you, and you're the one who said it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's only specific ones of this tree sprout. I mean, if the tree is producing a bunch of nuts that aren't meant to sprout, then what other purpose would they have than to rot and provide nutrients for the other seeds?
You take like a lot of psychic damage from Oz's rebuttal. You do like a Phoenix Wright getting hit by a logical argument thing, like 8 psychic damage. Finn just leaves to go drink.
And not flop.
The Nerds and the Birds. That's a good episode title.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we
let's
already
just-
had a possible episode title. Well,
What was the other one?
So-
Some salty semen stuff.
Yeah, but that could describe any episode.
Hmm.
Regardless of your long-term plans, the birds need food now. They're starving. And if
Oh,
you're gonna
we have
catch that
food
other
now.
one. Yeah, but not for
Well, we
Have
gotta-
food for all
didn't
2
we
of
have-
our birds.
Well, here's
Are-
here's my thing too. You mentioned the whole thing about like feeding kids candy and then having it disappear later. Does that mean that like they don't get the nutrition from it? My thing is like while we're waiting, if and you have nothing better to do with your College of Creation stuff, can you not just make a couple of seeds?
Well,
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
I
Wait,
absolutely
That's
Food?
can.
racket.
Well, hold on there. It's I wish it worked like that. Trust me, that'd be way better for just everybody. But they will disappear in an hour. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
that's my point. It's like, do you eat it, digest it, and in an hour when it disappears, you're back to being
Hey-
hungry? What are the
Hey,
logistics of
Kel,
that?
what's the speed of the digestive tract of these animals?
Let me search my
Birds
brain
tend to
again
have
real
pretty
quick.
fast metabolisms. I mean, I'm
also-
Oz. I wouldn't know this.
kind of an interesting question on a poison basis.
Do we want to try? Do we want to test this theory out? Finn, can you just like make food and we can eat it and
Sure.
see what happens?
I'll make
Food
some
can pass
nuts.
through a bird's digestive system in as little as 30 to 60 minutes. So that's perfect. By the time it's pooped out the seed,
By the time it becomes
It's
white
fine.
goo
Holy
that
shit!
hits your
We have
car.
a racket.
Am I just gonna become the nut girl now? Like, that's not really why I.
No one touched the nut girl, by the way. That's not the episode title. No one's taken the squirrel stampede. Okay. So you're saying that the idea is that Tequicils digest food so quickly that
Theoretically, they'd gain the nutritional value of eating a College of Creation seed.
however, I would argue that due to the size and the lack of teeth, that these things basically act like what's that stone a cow eats to digest stuff for it?
Well, I know
Do
birds.
cows do that? They just have
I
four
thought that was
No,
birds.
don't
Cows
they?
do it as well.
Oh,
They
okay.
eat stones as well as having
Maybe
four
not
stomachs.
stones. I thought they did have some sort
They
of.
do eat rocks.
Do cows? I think like don't goats do a thing that's a
A
bezoar?
Bezoar?
I think
That's
Bezors are created in the digestive
in
system.
goat
It's
stomachs.
Yeah, birds are the ones that they have the gizzard and then they'll eat the rocks and then that will chew up their food for them.
Not some salty semen stuff at the nut girl. Come on. Oh boy.
I can't help the things that are said on this stream.
None of us can. It's too late.
Guess I can make nuts sometimes.
Stop.
I mean, we could just try to eat the
I'm trying
birds
to
one
end.
day.
I'm trying to end this.
Are you?
I'm trying to end this.
Look, Kingpin Aussie arc has already started. I don't think anyone can stop it at this
That's
point.
not what I meant.
Oh yeah, no. No one's mad about Kingpin
That's not
Aussie
what I
art.
meant.
I mean,
No.
Ronnie is, but I'm not. Ronnie's upset about what everyone's doing, and I think it is feeding into Ronnie's sense that we need to get out of this town, and the town is making people
You're the one
bad.
who wanted to come back. I was ready to move on. But
We were
honestly,
just chilling.
all the extra prep time is good.
Where are we going? Are we going home?
We had to sort out our debt and a bunch of other things.
And you still don't
I
have
mean,
enough nest
personally-
food for
though.
your birds. That's right.
After hearing that the people of the town kick puppies on the regular, I think I'm ready to bounce.
Yeah.
I
That
don't know
was
if
it, the
that's
people of the
really-
town. That was the dirt pile. And I think he was just saying that to mess with you, with Way specifically. I hope.
I don't know, he had a gleam in his eye.
I really thought he was cool as the dirt pile went, but maybe he's only cool compared to the dirt pile.
It's just clear Mayor Ronnie doesn't understand her constituency. I mean, their constituency. Just like Mayor Eric Adams.
Mayor,
This is the one time I don't.
you
blame
keep
him.
Ronnie's fucking name out your mouth. Mayor
I
Ronnie
want
does
Ronnie-
not understand constituencies at all and deeply wants to be gone from this. But that's really different than someone who is a real jerk and only wants to abuse his constituencies.
Maybe you should go down to Jarek's Lago and kiss the ring.
I'll kill you.
No hesitation.
Ronnie
Ross, what are you thinking
breaks
of
the fourth
charging?
wall.
Kel
Attacks
just
the DM.
Kel says Jarek spawn, more like jerk spawn. Ha ha ha. He just wants to be
Everyone
included.
ignores him again.
He hasn't been paying attention, has just been working on that joke for the last 10 minutes. He's got like a stand-up comic notebook and is like a bunch of crossed out lines. Oh,
Oz, what are you thinking about charging for these nuts?
No.
Has to be less than 10.
Okay.
so how much per nut?
Let's worry about getting the supply and then we can worry about what we charge for it. Because the main
Oh.
thing is to feed birds, and we're not charging our birds.
Well, what am I getting paid for all this work?
You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
You're the
Finn, if
tuxedo
you can
mask of
source
this
me a
whole
sapling for
operation.
these nuts, then we'll talk.
Hey, wait a
What?
minute. This whole operation was your idea.
I'm not doing. You know what? I'm actually not helping at all because I made I just really care about the merchants here.
Yeah, you should go spend your money at them then.
But I thought, but Finn's not dead or starving. What I thought.
The birds are going to be starving, Kel.
You're the worst pet owner. You don't know where Eddie is.
The birds are starving. How?
Look, Oz can't contain Eddie. Eddie is happier going off on his adventure.
My only solace is the amount of pets that Owlbear takes care of in real life. All those raccoons.
Raccoons are not pets. They just happen to come by and look cute.
They think they are, though.
I feel like that's the same as like Oz with Eddie, which is just like, no, we're just associates. Like, there is no ownership implied here.
We're the real beast.
Yeah, Oz just
They're
freed
just
Eddie.
buds.
That's all he did.
Yeah, we make a deal about how frequently we hang out or not, and we can adjust that however we feel like it.
Oh god, Oz has got a warlock patron waiting in the wings, doesn't he?
Good thing I don't multi-class.
Yeah, I'm actually grateful for that. That'd be another thing I'd have to worry about. Okay, so the same problem persists despite all of that conversation. 2 birds, 9 days, 9 seeds.
Well, Oz is going to worry first about trying to procure some seed saplings from Reginald, and then we'll probably just have to buy seeds until we get to the point where they can produce.
Okay, makes sense.
So that's a no on the College of Creation seed thing then. Actually, I
Finn,
think
Finn
Shoulder-
backed out.
Yeah, okay.
I saw the writing on the walls.
I'm starting to think I should have learned the fabricate spell.
Is it too
That's
late
an
for
expensive
fabricate?
nut. That's
Well, I didn't focus on trying to learn it because I thought we'd have a bard to make things.
Well, I
You
mean,
can't cage the
Puppy
wind,
eyes.
dude.
Oh, I thought we might have a boat.
and I'm not a printer. Gosh.
I am.
That's exactly
Well, then
what I
you
was
make the
thinking.
nuts,
Oh no, I don't make actual things.
and then you can be
I-
Nutbird.
I draw things.
Nutbird.
I mean, I guess I could try to use that skill to try to swindle someone out of a shipment of nuts by faking a signature.
After Oz did all that work on your poster, Finn.
Yeah?
Fine. I can make a few nuts
yay.
for
At least
free.
And
until
we
we
only
can get
need
out of this
2.
godforsaken town.
Let me talk to Reginald, then I'm ready to go. Says referencing a person no one else in the party has met.
Yeah,
He
I assume
returns-
that's an imaginary person.
Yeah, he returns
Yeah,
to
wait, she's
the
like, okay. It could
Seafair
very well be a
Bazaar,
real
and there's just
person, it
like
could very well
an
not.
empty chair there. Reginald hasn't been here in 15 years.
Roddy's not there, but they would have assumed it was just like another cat.
It does sound
Oh,
like
sure. Whatever.
It was also the name of my rideable possum in the first campaign. You remember that, Ink?
Oh my god, yes. How could I forget?
My paladin had a giant possum that he rode around.
It was great.
Okay. So, you go talk to Reginald, who is the gnomish captain, who is seated at a table at the Seafair Bazaar. He previously warned you that he'd be heading out in a few days. Luckily, you've caught him on his last day in town. Ah, how can I help you, fellow captain?
Hey, I've been talking to my people, and we've come up with a plan that keeps your hands clean and gets the supply on this island.
I'm all ears.
So, my people, they have a little, mansion up in Hollow's End. They have a greenhouse. If you bring us a few saplings, then we can say, just these wild rich people just wanted, them for landscaping and such. So you're not bringing a supply to another merchant. And then just mysteriously, Hollow's End just seems to have a supply of these nuts all of a sudden.
He squints his eyes at you. So there would be another supplier.
Well, I mean, we're not necessarily going to be selling them on the open market like your guy.
Not necessarily, but possibly.
Well, we might like do some under the table deals and such.
Oh,
But
I
mainly
see.
they're just to feed our birds.
He and the other men at the table all brandish their cutlasses towards you, Oz. So, you want to start your own operation, steal all my clientele, and you really think I'm dumb enough to believe it?
I'm just trying to feed my birds, man. These things are expensive.
Oh, I could have sold you seeds. I could have sold you, oh, at half price. But
Why
now I
didn't you
know
say
your
that
real game.
before?
You didn't ask for that. You asked to cut me out of my own business. Now, our contract is broken. He turns away from you.
Oz is just kind of standing there, just blink, blink. If you had literally just said that before.
Barkeep, take this child out of here. He's bothering us. A few people turn and look at Oz blinking nearby. Captain Reginald. Hey, it's the bird kid. And they all start surrounding Oz and poking at him.
Oz whispers, just so the captain could hear, I was going to try to figure out how to cut you in it. I will not forget this. And Oz leaves.
You were trying to screw me over. He launches at you, Oz. Please make a dex save.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Did he bring Way along?
He didn't seem to. The rest of you
No one
originally
offered to
said
come.
that that you thought Captain was imaginary, so I doubt you would have gone to the imaginary meeting. Okay, I'm gonna roll a d20 plus 2 to decide how his attack goes. 14 meets it. Wait, but the save is in response to that, so meets it, beats it. So Oz narrowly. Actually, Oz doesn't do shit. Someone from the crowd who's a big Bird Kid fan picks Oz up and holds him up in the air like, whoa there. The gnome captain hits that person in the knees and they buckle. Oz, make another dex save as you go flying backwards over the head of your savior. You land perfectly, still blinking, unsure of what's exactly happening right now. The captain turns to his men. Get that bird! I want to stick him on my mast.
Oz will take off running.
New enemy discovered.
Okay, I'm gonna make another dex save as you start leading a madcap chase through the city.
Wait, Oz hasn't used his spells yet today.
True. Oh, don't you have like a Misty Step or some such?
Blink.
He does
And
have
or a
the
blink.
Misty Step today, and he also has Blink.
Also, Oz, if you could like
nice.
run by the rest of us, we might be able to help.
Wait, does he have a magic item that gives him Misty Step? I need to check.
I always throw
I
Misty
think-
Step on mine. I might be confused. Way
I
has
got
the ring of
Misty
Misty
Step.
Step.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of something else. He does not. He just has Blink.
Gotcha. Okay, so these guys are charging at you. One of them is going to come at you with a 12 of just them running at you and trying to jump. Please make a dex save to try to escape them. 14, you nimbly escape, and off you go out the front of the fish. They're still after you. You're sort of like at the crossroads here before the docks. Where would you like to go to try to escape them?
I could do the smart thing, but I could also do something really funny right now. I was just gonna run for the docks.
Okay. Okay. You run for the docks with them tailing after you. What would you like to do when you arrive?
Are there any smaller vessels that would count as huge but not gigantic.
Oh, I
Okay.
know what you're doing.
I
Or
mean,
not even a vessel, but like a buoy or just something that Oz could stand on that floats.
like a rowboat? Because there's rowboats.
Yeah, like a rowboat or a buoy or just something that Oz could fit on that floats.
Yeah, there's some small rowboats around. That's the best
Oz
thing
will
you could
jump
find.
onto it and cast Animate Object on the boat.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So the boat becomes a semi-sentient creature, I guess.
That is a creature that Oz has full control over.
Okay.
It is one of my favorite spells, and it has a flying speed of 30 feet.
Up to 10 non-magical objects. Large
Except
counts as
huge
huge
objects
count as
count as
8.
I think.
You can't animate any object larger than huge. Each target animates becomes a creature in your spell.
Oz just full speed is sending this boat just, not too far out to sea, but out to sea, just saluting the other pirates as he leaves wearing his captain's hat.
So Oz just appears to take off forever in a self-propelling rowboat.
Yep, he jumped on the boat, and as far as they're concerned, this boat just obeyed Ozzy's commands and took off on its own.
I'm hearing it so much in the like.
Okay.
Kid lore deepens.
As you're sailing away, one of them is going to grab a nearby harpoon and try to chuck it at you.
At Oz or at the boat, because the boat has its own dexterity and AC.
True. They're going to try to hit you, but you have what is it? Half cover right now, so your AC will be at 13, I guess, unless you did mage armor every day. You tend to, but you're not really in a situation where you might have. I'll leave you to decide whether you did that or not.
Would Oz have been smart enough to put on mage armor before doing shady dealings? As the question.
Probably not, is my guess.
Yeah.
Since it's a downtime
Based on
day.
how that dealing went.
Yeah, it did not go the way expected. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a d20 plus 2. 19. Okay. So despite the boat pivoting to try to protect you, this will hit you for 7 piercing damage. When the boat makes a strange shuddering sound as if responding in fear for your condition. But you are still being carried away by this thing. And you're sort of it's a strange situation. You're sort of flying out to sea on this boat. They chase after you, but you eventually just outpace them, and now you're flying on a boat. Wait, how long does animate objects last?
I think it's a minute.
A minute?
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. So wait, you can go 30 feet and 6. Okay, so you make it safely out here. They see you floating out there, and they all wait at the end of the dock to see what's going to happen to you. Some of them start boarding the captain's vessel, and
Sorry, the whose vessel?
Captain Reginald's vessel.
Oh, Reginald. Sorry, I was forgetting because after being told there were so few boats left.
Yeah, but he came into town. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
these aren't
I
like
do.
just boats free for the taking that he's like, yeah, I'll take it. It's not an enterprise rent-a-boat. So, as I mean, wait. Okay. So wait, it's an animated object, right? So as soon as the minute runs out, you're just in a rowboat, right? You should,
Yes. Quick question: would Luke's resilient sphere that float on the water, or would Oz be able to make that like run on the surface of the sea?
Hamster.
Water.
that's a good
Hamster ball
question.
at the bottom of the ocean.
How does that?
Like it
How
has
is
air
that
in it, but it also has
physically?
a lot of weight in it.
Well, it doesn't let anything through, but there is air on the inside, which is buoyant, but it's magic, so I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't let anything in and out, so it's
what's
a
the name of the
pocket
spell?
of air. I'm just
Autos.
Luke's resilient sphere.
Okay, can
Aut-
resilience sphere
Seems like it would
float?
float, but I don't. You'd have to maybe get clever if you wanted it to move.
I don't want it to float. I want it to sink with all the
No,
air
I
in
think
it.
that's what
Oh.
Ray's saying. Like, it would traditionally float.
Yes, a thing full of air.
If not, I have another thing Ozzy could try, but it may end up being very dumb.
You
It's
could also cast it again and get the boat to take you up the river.
Nope, 5th level spell. I can only animate it
Nope.
once per day.
wait, is
Never mind.
the sphere is weightless, right?
It is weightless.
And it just contains air, and Oz is not heavy because he's a bird, right? So I think the sphere would float with Oz in it.
If only Oz still had all those coins on him to weigh him down.
Yeah, I gave up on carry weight in this campaign specifically because of the way coins get counted in Roll20. I was like, I fucking give up. Which is a shame because that's a mechanic that I feel like should be used in some way, but it's too complicated. All right, so right now, what's happening is Oz is plummeting with the rowboat. And that's where we're gonna end things for now.
Plummeting?
Yeah.
Because the boat was in the air.
Wait,
So-
it was in the air?
Wait, what?
I thought you
Yeah,
said
it
you
was
flew the
floating.
boat away.
Well, it has a fly speed, but I just imagine that would be it gliding on top of the water.
Oh, okay. I thought you see in my conception of what happened earlier, you flew it up to use the bottom of the boat over these shorter attackers so that you could use it as cover. Because if you were at their level, you wouldn't have had cover in that attack. And when you said that was what you were doing, I thought that's what you were doing. So I gave you credit for that. But I think because you can move at diagonals, if you'd like to bring it back down once you get out of their attack range, then you totally can. Oh, we just got another raid. 20 sides to every story. Thank you very much. We're just wrapping up here, unfortunately, but we appreciate your patronage. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. So right now, if that's the case, then Oz is on a boat in the ocean.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing.
And that is that. I mean, you're just in the ocean and people, you're not far enough that they can't see you anymore. And currently they are hopping into their vessel to come after you. So that's
It's
what we're
okay,
gonna.
Ozzy has many ways to escape.
I hope so. So that's what we're doing now.
Does anyone know that Ozzy is out there?
We can figure that out next time, I guess. Who do I want to go to now? Let's go to Gresco. I don't know what DJ Boy is, but love me some Gresco. Okay, raid. All right. We will be back. I probably will not stream anything this weekend. I am doing a show in Columbus on Saturday. I can give you more details on that in the Discord if anyone is in the area. Probably not, but Anyway, thank you all for being here. This is a crazy episode. Very strange. We didn't get to anything I thought we would. I guess that's normal. It's actually great. But yes. I will talk to you all later. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much, players. We're heading off to Gresco now. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
This is great. Ozzy finally has consequences.
When will you learn?
Ozzy has immediate consequences for trying to become a mob boss.